A metronome and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
I got a beer.
just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me Fuck all that shit, just let me go.
Wow. Welcome to Live with Audio. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast at all. I literally have just a complete brain shutdown. Sitting AC on the mic. Yeah. I'm just so happy.
It's alright, it's a new world. It's hard to get used to, okay? It's a lot to process.
You know, yesterday I was telling is like I actually want to go over this. I want to address, it's always good to attack your fans.
Oh yeah.
it's just good form.
Just put them in their place, Yeah,
it's always good. I attacked a few yesterday for content reasons. Because I thought of it, but this is probably going too far, so let's do it. This is probably not wise. I'm going to read some of the things. I love this guy was pretty polite. I'll be honest with you. Let's see. Okay. Been supporting you for a long time. This goes to yesterday when here's what I said. Don't vote if you don't want to. Don't let anybody tell you what to do. All right. And maybe I didn't. Maybe yesterday's show wasn't that good. Maybe I didn't articulate that well enough. And then I'm actually being serious. Been supporting you for a long time. Weird hill to die. Nothing wrong with being proud of voting. No, there's nothing wrong with being proud of voting. You know what I'm bitching about? Because you didn't listen to me, Rick? I'm bitching about being lectured by people telling you what to do. Maybe I didn't articulate that well enough. You go out and vote. You have to vote. No, you don't. You can do whatever you want. And by the way, it's both sides on that one. Do whatever you want. I disagree that voting is not a viable option. That not voting is a viable option. I believe no matter who you vote for, it is important to exercise your constitutional right rather than sit dormant. Unused rights get taken away over the time. How many people? Doesn't most of the country not vote? Yeah, most of the country doesn't vote, and they haven't voted since the beginning of the revolution. Has it ever been taken away once? It's important. No. How about this? Why is it important? If you truly don't like either candidate, then you have a write in who you think. How about what do I love wrote in Mickey Mouse? Is that all right with you? The whole thing yesterday is about people telling you what to do, and I don't think I articulated that well. Who are these virtue signals to tell you what to do? Come up with think on your own. That's all.
I think the important thing about freedoms is that there's the right not to do something.
Big go. All right, now that's why AC's here.
Yeah. I think it's worse if somebody doesn't care about voting. They don't give a damn about anything.
Like the Australians,
feel obligated to do it.
Yeah, like the Australians that fine you if you don't do it. That doesn't seem a little fascist, doesn't it? I truly don't like either candidate. You write in who you think. Casting a ballot. It's not just an unchecked box. Love you, Tommy. Great show. Okay, fine. He respectfully disagrees with me. But here's the best part. I didn't say that the election didn't have consequence. I think I said clearly it did. I think it depends on the situation, and it's up to you as an individual. I grew up in a time when it was extremely rude to ask somebody what they were voting for, and then somehow that changed after 2000, and I don't like it. It's a personal thing. And people see so it's gone from kind of asking them to vote and then telling people how you feel, and then to turning into you have to, and you have don't you have any compunction about saying to tell people what to do? Doesn't that make you feel weird? You have to if you're not their boss or manager or parent. Dude, go ahead.
Weren't there Democrat ads about hey, voter? We can look up who you voted for. We can look up your voting record. It's public. Great. That's so insane to to even float that.
That's a good reason. That's a good reason not to vote.
Yeah.
Really, because it's none of their business.
Yeah, because they're just saying, they're threatening, we'll track you down, we'll find out who you are, where you live, and what you do.
I didn't say don't vote. I didn't say elections don't have consequences. I said do what you want to do, and don't let people tell you what to do or feel obligated if you don't feel obligated. I will say this. I should have added this because I told my son got a little confused because he saw me watching that movie Election. She's like, don't vote at all if you don't want to, which is just a funny. And by the way, that's just a funny movie. It's a comedy. I thought it was funny. It's not a good idea to vote or not to vote just because you're too fucking lazy to do it. All right. That is kind of irresponsible. All right. You got me there. But I didn't say that. I hate your stance on everything. And I wrote good. Stopping for a like and a comment. Destiny is streaming. I'll finish in the morning. Darn comments can be. I think he ended early and said Harris is going to win, and is already taking credit for the coming Trump economy. That's been going on since I was a kid.
What?
Jimmy Carter took credit for the Reagan all 8 years.
Really?
Yes. That's all 8 years. This is the Carter economy. It's like the reason they get kicked out is because their economy sucks, and then somebody turns around, and then even like Clinton had a great economy, right? But he didn't have a great. Here's what happened to him. They convinced the idiot George Bush to raise tax. Remember, read my lips, no new taxes, right? So they fucking leaned on him. He raised taxes, and guess what? They ran against him. He lied. The Democrats ran on. He lied. And so what did Clinton do when he got into office? He raised taxes again. The economy continued to tank and actually got a lot worse. And then he had the biggest since I don't think the House and the Senate hadn't been controlled by the Republicans since just after the war, and it was only for a short period of time. So since the 50s, right? Mm-hmm. And they forced Clinton to sign on to spending cuts, and the economy boomed, and then he got credit for that.
It's great. That's the American way. Is whenever something bad happens, it's not your fault. But whenever something good happens,
it's all you did. I mean, Obama, I wouldn't say he had a piss poor economy, but he didn't have a booming economy like Reagan. He didn't have a booming economy like Trump. And that's my economy. Well, yeah, as soon as it went from sluggish to awful when your people got in. So I'm sure if he turns it around, which he probably will, if he survives, because I'm not. Well, I did. Yeah, I guess I'm off the fuckery train. Because she hadn't conceded. I guess she's going to concede in about 30 minutes or so. Maybe we'll check in. So let's check the cope. Another thing I wanted to address: world in shock. I live in Germany. No, they're not. No, they're not.
World is in the shocking.
No. I live in Germany. No, they're not. Nobody's shocked in England. Nobody's shocked in everybody knew what you knew. Guess who's shocked? The same people who are shocked in the States. Those preachy, lefty jerk-offs that know what's good for everybody that were probably demanding that you vote. That's who's in shock. Now, Chud Logic said something interesting on the stream. He says, well, it's because he's kind of like just a low moral person or something like that. And I started thinking about I thought all day about that. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. He doesn't have the highest standard of morals. He sleeps with his wife with porn stars and stuff like that. Do you know why he got away with that? Kids, and nobody remembers this. I know you two don't. It's Monica Lewinsky. They did everything they could to keep. Look, can you imagine a world like this? You cheat on your wife. There's no chance you win an election. That's the world I grew up with. That is the world like if you cheat. I remember Gary Hart was on the monkey business of a ship, I guess banging some other broads or doing something goofy. He was done. I don't think it was even 100% proof that he was banging broads. That's it. You cheated on your wife. You're done. You're finished. You're gone. All right? That's it. You are done. Then Clinton got nailed. It was always a rumor that he was doing that, philandering around and what have you. And they came up with an excuse for him. And he won. Oh, it's between him and his wife. It's between him and his wife. And that culture took hold on both wings. If you would have thrown Clinton to the wolves, and there's good reason to throw him to the fucking wolves, the excuse then is because between him and his wife. No, he's president of the United States and he could be bribed. And he kind of, in a sense, he was. So all of a sudden, then he started bombing Afghanistan looking for bin Laden. Trump was completely avoidable if Clinton was expendable. All they had to do is he had to just pull a fucking Nixon, step down, and let Gore take over. That's all he had to do. But no, the media decided to suck off. Or they just by ass hair, they got him through. And it changed the culture. So now you can bang a porn star and still be president. Thank the lefties for that. Now, I gotta be honest with you. I'm more libertarian. I'm live and let live. I'm like, yeah, for the most part, that's between you and your wife. I've said that before. I don't think cheating is the end of the world. I think it's kind of part of the human condition. I've said that before. But maybe the president shouldn't be held to the same standard I am, or the one I hold a guy that works at Joe's grocery store. If Joe at Joe's grocery store cheats on his wife, it's really not the fucking end of the world. Might be the end of his marriage, but it's not the end of the world. People cheat. It happens. Both sexes do it. They both do it for different reasons, and that's a conversation for another time. But here's the thing. Once you lowered the standard, you got Trump. He is a person. He is kind of gross. He's funny. He's my kind of gross.
Yes.
He's my kind of gross. Like, all right. I don't like Destiny kind of gross. He's just too gross for me. I wouldn't want him dating my daughter, right? Right? Yeah. But I if he dated a guy that was maybe drank too much once in a while and they got a little crazy with his buddies, I can connect with that. And I would tell her how to rein it in. I think
that's like a big thing with Trump is that he kind of removed a lot of the illusions that people have about politicians. I mean, the thing is, we can kind of already, I think everybody.
I got to interrupt you. He didn't do that. They did.
No.
They did it for Clinton, and it had an impact. They did it for Clinton, and maybe Clinton should have been kicked to the fucking curb.
Well, I think the thing though is just like everybody kind of already assumed that politicians, they probably are banging a lot of chicks on the side.
Yeah.
A lot of them just probably don't get caught.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing. But we had that sort of that barrier.
That barrier. And it's gone for them because they wanted to keep power. Now you got to deal with this shit.
Yeah.
He never would have got there. It'd have been, the Republicans would have had to throw him. They wouldn't have the clout capital or they were the political capital to do it. They would say, you're gone, you're cheating your wife. We don't want dirtbags in the party. That's unacceptable on both ends. Well, it became acceptable on one end. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. So there you go. And the culture changed. It's like, I remember they used to say during the thing, do you know that the French prime minister, they always have sex scandals, which is true. I think only the last two haven't had one in my lifetime. I'm not even just Sarkozy did. Even before that, they all had sex scandals with women. And everybody was, but they're French. But they are French. They love their women. You know, that's what they did. All right. So now we got a French standard. Guess who created that? The people that was founded the people that were and by the way, back then, the culture's changed on the left a bit. Their attitude with Monica Lewinsky was, you knew she wanted it. That girl's life was ruined. She never got remarried. She never really did much with her life. She moved to England and supposedly, I remember in 2010, still longed for him in an article I read. I don't know if that's true or not. And she hated Hillary. Ruined her life. She's 21 years old. Only 3 years older than me. Now she's 50 and an old maid. So maybe, I'm just saying, and for all you people out there that get so fucking uptight about my position on cheating and being forgiving about it and thinking there's a road to redemption, all you Christian lovers out there that, don't really want to put a scarlet letter on women, maybe you're right on this one. And maybe we have those standards for a reason. Now you got Trump. But I don't care what kind of asshole he is. He's my kind of asshole. And nobody buys the fascist horse shit. Nobody buys that he's Hitler. Nobody buys it's only talked about in the Beltway, and everybody pretends to take it seriously. And what happened is when you pretend something long enough, you become it. Now they actually believe their own bullshit. And that's what you're seeing with all these people right here. They believe their own bullshit. That is the theme of tonight. They believe their own bullshit. Ugh, that is crusty. You know what, Sosa? It is crusty. But they're the ones that made it uncrusty. Remember that. I'm old enough. I'm 20 years, and sometimes 30 years older than most of you guys. I watched the whole thing happen. Because I remember when Clinton got nailed and it was looking like he did it, and then they found a cum-stained dress that she kept. That's weird, right? Because that's the guy who did a DNA test in that fucking dress. Because he was denying it, right? By the way, he denied it right to the bitter end. And then when it became undeniable, it was like none of your business. So wait a minute, you're the president, it's my business. So I thought, he's screwed. Gary Hart got screwed in 88. No. Gary Hart's still alive? Go check.
No memento.
He's got to be in his 80s.
Yeah, he's still alive. He's 87.
got caught on a ship called the Monkey Business. I remember everything. The only reason I remember this is because I read a whole thing about it on Mad Magazine when I was a kid. The Monkey Business. It was 88. It was 88, or maybe it was 87 or something like that. Maybe it was the 84 election. I don't know. My parents tell me this thing all the time when I was a kid. They say, I was very upset when Ronald Reagan got elected and supposedly it was 1980, so I was what, 4? And I said, I don't like Ronald Reagan's hair, so therefore he shouldn't be president. Apparently I cried because I like Jimmy's hair because he was the only president I knew. I thought he was going to be president forever. Good thing he wasn't. Now he's still alive and a walking corpse. So let's check in the cope. And by the way, you guys can call in. Well, here we go.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win
fake cope.
Thing.
So fake.
It's absolutely fake. Hold on. I don't know why this keeps going.
I can't believe Trump's actually going to win this thing. Oh, Jesus Christ. I'm so pissed off. God.
Absolutely planned. 100%. Here's the thing. He doesn't like Trump, but he doesn't care that much.
Yeah, he made a tweet like right after that video dropped.
Yeah.
About how like basically Dems deserve this loss.
You know, he said things like to me like that privately. That they're like he said things like they're in your business too much. They're too much with fucking, talking down to you. He said things like that to me in private. He was basically trying to say, I get it. I'm just not voting for that guy. That's his real opinion. I get why people like Trump. That's really his opinion. I get why. I'm never voting for no Republican. I'm a blue dog Democrat, but I just I get it. These people are annoying. That was his real fucking opinion.
It's crazy. People don't like it when you perform at your best, quote unquote, you lose, and then you blame the people that supported you the whole way.
Well, he can't even vote. No, he can't. He's a felon, right? Can't own a gun.
By the way, I'd like to take a moment to thank white women. I'd like to thank Latinos. I'd like to thank our proud black brothers, not the sisters, because we didn't have them.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have more of that. Well, why did they think it was a good idea to get Obama to lecture black men? I don't get that. I know most right wingers are like, oh wow, we have a chance to fucking spike the football here. All right, peel all the politics back for a second. When is it good to tell your fucking voters they're sexist and no? Because let's say you're really sexist or really racist or really trollful, legitimately stuff, you are deplorable. But that's what's come down. Everybody's deplorable. Everybody, even black men. Mm-hmm. And nobody steps a step back and says, maybe we shouldn't talk to the people we need like this. It's not good business. They don't do that. No, they're so sure they're fucking right. They're so sure. It's funny. We're going to see Van Jones later. One of the things he said right after the 2016 is that we have an elitism problem in the Democratic Party. Yes. Did you forget? People on both wings, on both sides, not the hardcore lefty or the wokies, but let's say 90s liberal or reasonable liberals, and you see a lot of them good representative would be Tulsi and Bobby Kennedy, think the government's gotten too intrusive. And that was the domain of the left when I was a kid. Now if you say the government's no good, you're a fucking Russian traitor. They were never patriotic. They didn't like soldiers unless they were defeated and disgruntled. They're the only soldiers they liked. They didn't become patriotic until January 6th. Oh my God. Oh my God, they disgraced this holy house. Wait a minute, that's Republican talk.
It's this sort of broader left-leaning thing where I've noticed whenever a celebrity or musician, actor, whoever comes out and they do something that's pro-Trump or even could be construed as pro-Trump, as in it's pro-Christian with some of these guys, It's like suddenly they're like, I never liked him anyways, actually. I actually always hated him, and actually, we're going to give somebody else credit for all his work.
Maybe America wasn't ready to outsource skills to a low-skilled Indian. It's terrible.
Everybody had flashbacks.
Yeah, I don't know. I know that was just a joke, but I wouldn't get into that. I gotta be honest with you. I think a black woman can get elected. I don't think that black woman can get elected. And then suddenly, when if it's Obama or the black woman, or the first transgender, or the first this, first that, they hold that in such a high regard. The first horse shit. I hate to say this because I grew this up. I grew up this way. It's 1985. It's 1987. It's 1995. It's 1999. It's 2003 already. It's 2024. Maybe people don't give a shit anymore. Maybe your failures, and every time I've seen a left-wing failure, whether it's over Brexit, they were lied to. You're either ignorant or a bigot if they don't win. It's never them. It's never them. It is always somebody else or the electorate. And what did we see the last 2 weeks? They attacked the electorate. So they fucked you. You can act like Destiny on Twitter because Destiny preaches to the fucking choir. You can't do that if you need people that are somewhere in the middle. The independents overwhelmingly went for Trump. What does that tell you? They're bigots. It's like the circle.
Tommy, that's a little hypocritical coming from a guy who calls his fans fuckheads.
Good point. Let's listen to H3. Why does it seem like it? Let's say Biden's wife doesn't like Kamala, maybe sabotage. I wonder if he did sabotage her because he said the one thing that he couldn't say. He attacked the electorate. And he did it twice. And most people believe that's why Hillary lost was deplorables comment. I would not be.
He won up the deplorables thing. Honestly.
Yeah, he won up it. And you know what? You know who figured that out? Bill Maher. Bill Maher says, I think this is a bigger gap than most people think. Barack Obama. I'm not saying that. Living in an echo cage is scary man. This is H3 production. This is a rich man that has no connection to regular American life.
This is a user on his.
As a user, Reddit. Are you sure?
Yes.
The user. Yes. Oh, this person has no connection to real American life because the only good people are people that agree with him. I don't believe that, by the way. Why does it seem like everyone is voting blue and the day comes and it's not even close? Well, let me teach you about this because I've seen more elections than you, young woman. They always do this when the Republicans win. They're behind, and then when they're in. If you read Drudge Report, I saw reports that she was going to win Iowa. That was just the other day. That she was anywhere up from 5 to 7 points ahead. Maybe they're lying to you, and maybe you don't know anything about your own country and your own people. You ever think of that? Gay comes, it's not even close. I saw this. I saw Reagan in 84. I remember I was in second grade. Oh, Dad, Reagan's not going to win. He's going to win. Don't worry about it. Mondale's ahead. Too close to call. It's election night. It's going to be crazy. 40 fucking 8 states. They're lying to you. That's it.
I mean, Vance said something about the polls. Just even if the polls are in favor, they're not trustworthy because a lot of them they're garbage. I mean, they have shit sample sizes. Who replies to a phone call where the guy is like, "Who are you voting for?" Some random stranger calls him up. "Who are you voting for?" Most people are gonna just say, "Fuck you." Click. That's what the reality is.
With normal people that do care about politics that aren't preachy, if you want to know anything about it, watch the stream that Nick did last night. You had liberals and conservatives and regular guy, and they're all sitting around having jokes, playing Fortnite. That's real. That's real regular people. And I got to be honest with you, Democrats, you lost those people in a lot of ways.
Okay, how did Kamala lose them with the Fortnite Freedom Town?
No, it was awful.
Answer me that, Tommy.
No, but exactly. But I mean, my point is they lost regular people. They lost regular guys. Because I know Aiden was. I think he was being a little performative last night because Aiden's not the kid Aiden I knew. He's actually really. I really enjoy Aiden's company, especially recently because he's a grown up now and it's he's easier to fucking swallow. right? I think he was playing up and having fun. Like, nobody hated each other. Nobody got over it. I mean, me and Chud didn't even get into it. And we couldn't disagree on more. But we don't hate each other, and we don't think each other's deplorable. That's what you did. Isn't this guy a felon or something? I thought he was. Isn't he supposed to go to jail? Well, maybe that was part of the reason he got on. Because people started realizing these aren't legitimate and no other politician would get charged in this shit. Mm-hmm. How is he allowed to be president? Well, here's the thing. I got news for you because you don't know anything. Just like the same people that don't know that I can still vote here in Germany with an absentee ballot. Our founding fathers were smart enough to know that anybody could run for president, including a convicted felon. Why did they know that? Because they knew somebody might try to charge them with something just so they couldn't run, like they do in other countries. So they made sure you can run if you're a convicted felon.
It's called lawfare, folks. It's existed
so
for centuries.
Our founding fathers knew that. They saw that coming. Now, you can't own a gun. There's a lot of stuff you can't do. But that's the one thing you can't do, just in case you try to keep somebody out through the laws. Because they saw that shit in England. They saw it in England. So it's like, well, we're not going to do that over here. How is he allowed to be president? I'm so confused. And I'm an American born and raised. I really wanted Kamala to win. All right, sorry she lost. She was qualified. I don't know how you came up with that. What has she ever done? She's never won anything.
She's done Willie Brown.
Yeah, she did. Who, by the way, Willie Brown said don't elect her. She's fucking crazy, right?
That must have been some terrible head, man.
She fucked them up. No, she fucked them. She fucked them over. That's what happened. If I had to guess. Because Willie Brown, I mean...
I'm upset. They're going to send her back here to my state, after she's done.
You deserve her. I hope Trump lives up to the hype. Otherwise, I don't know if he will. I'm not 100% convinced it won't be fuckery, but I was a little surprised to hear she was fucking conceding. I got to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I was expecting,
me too.
But you know what it was? It's like there was the two scenarios. I talked about it last night. It would be better if Kamala, like the best, obviously, for me personally, because I'm biased, Trump by a lot. Second best would be Kamala by a lot because there's no denying it. And then we don't get any fuckery like we did with January 6th. The worst case scenarios was either two sides winning by a little. And I never would have expected him to win the popular vote. Not in a million years. How is he allowed to be president? I'm so confused because you don't know anything. You don't know anything. You don't even bother to look it up. In the age of Google. Why? Go figure it out, stupid. I'm confused, and I'm an American born and raised. And you learn it. You don't care. I bet you don't care about the Constitution. You don't bother to read it. The people you vote for see it as an obstacle. I think she deserved the position. You only deserve the position if you win. But a stupid rich man gets it because he's elderly and got shot at. I think it's a little deeper than that. He didn't get it because he's white. He didn't get it because he's elderly. If that's the case, Tim Walz would have helped. I mean, he looks elderly. He's a lot younger than Trump. And I don't know, like I don't know, like the sissy boys that the fucking the Democrats put up. What did we hear with Trump and when it was first said he's going to quit, he's going to walk away, he didn't do any of that. The guy's not afraid of shit. He can't sit there and say he's not tough. At least when it comes to being a politician, most of these guys would have tapped out long ago. How I can feel. I mean, I would even say he's went too far in that department about not tapping out. Sometimes you got to tap out. How can I feel comfortable as a mother knowing my son will be starting school in a couple of years? And the most horrifying thing I can imagine, because they knew these Republican assholes think it's okay to let anybody get a gun. Well, yeah, it wasn't just them. It was the people that started the Constitution. So I can see you're American-born and don't know anything. And they let them walk into schools and places and kill innocent wives. Yeah, they opened the doors. J.D. Vance helped the last school shooter, in fact. He's like, here's an AR-15.
Look, Tim Walz is friends with these people.
And they fund genocide and more innocent babies and never-ending hate and violence and crime. Because they can. Yeah, that's why they do it. It sucks. I'm going to cry and sleep now. All right, let's listen to people. Let's listen to weirdos.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's unfuckable.
My friend and I are talking about what country we can move to escape.
You won't go anywhere. I promise you. And another thing, you probably don't have any skills, and you need a skill set. The only reason I'm fucking here, I don't have the skill set to be here. I'm married into it. So you're going to have to do that, and you're not even attractive. How's that grab you?
This incredible madness. I cannot believe this. It's like a fucking nightmare.
It happened. What do you mean? It happened fucking 8 years ago, you bimbo. Like, what part of you was surprised?
That's a good.
I'm going to tell my son not to have children in this country.
Not to have children in this country. I don't know, in Germany, like, here's the thing. Here's one wonderful thing about living in this country. This behavior, okay, buddy, is considered unacceptable. Because you're not supposed to show your emotions. It doesn't matter whether you're on the right or the left. This behavior is considered unacceptable. It's like here's the way Germans look at this, and they don't even lecture you like Americans do. That person can't get a hold of themselves. Let's pretend they don't exist. That's what they do over here. When I was on a soccer team over here, and this poor guy, and he wasn't a very good athlete. The most consequential thing about this election is that Governor Grover Cleveland is no longer. Yeah, it's true. Grover Cleveland, that's true. He didn't do back-to-back terms either. I didn't even know that. I found that out today. No, they don't get. They see. Here's the thing. Like, I don't even think this is totally healthy from the Germans' part. If Germans see this, you're unhireable. Because you can't control your emotions.
They're stoic.
Yeah, they're very stoic. And if you're not, then there's something wrong with you. Now, there's a downside to that. They stuff everything, and then they walk in front of trains and do Geisterfahrer.
It will be too dangerous for his wife.
They really believe this
Anyone who can afford to leave this country should. Because to me...
I'm sure all those black people that grow up and get shot at would if they could. But those are those are your strongholds.
The fact that a majority of people voted for Trump means that you fucking deserve what is going to happen.
Well, we already know. And that's another thing. That's another thing they didn't pick up. Everybody knew what Trump did. And it didn't work to say, he's going to take over the world. He's a fascist. Well, he already did that before. You already played that card. Tommy got out 20 years ago. No, I got here 20 years ago. I got out only 2012.
I don't mean that.
I don't mean that.
All right, she has some semblance of that being stupid.
But she still recorded it.
Why would you? Well, you recorded. This is something you'd never see a German do this. I know my friend John, who's kind of a stoic person. It sounds like paradise. He's a bit of a stoic person himself. He would love to live here.
But I literally cannot understand.
Learn about people, and also learn your ideology tells you anybody who disagrees with you is evil. Lose it.
It's called theory of mind. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes and literally just think about how they approach stuff.
By the way, and you're not one of them, so I'm not picking on you. Christians have this problem too. And I see so many parallels between these hardcore leftists and Christian fundamentalists all the time. I mean, when I say fundamentalists, people who take the Bible literally. They don't believe in redemption. They don't believe in forgiving, all the shit that Jesus taught them. Because even though I consider myself an atheist, I'm all about Jesus. All about it. The principles, anyway. They have all the annoying parts of the Christian right, but none of the forgiveness part, none of the Jesus part. It's really annoying, you know?
How we could have all...
Do you think these people are capable of the amount of empathy is required to put themselves in other shoes? I think... Yes, I do. If there's a cultural change. I think they've had
it beaten out of them.
I don't know. I'd say no, I do.
Not physically.
No, if there's a cultural change. If there's a cultural change. But, politics will always be divisive. And it was in the old days, and it will be now. It's just more divisive than it's ever been.
Underestimated the misogyny and racism of the United States.
Doesn't know anything.
Get your passports, people.
I thought you didn't mean that.
Because those people who right now... have no idea.
Yeah, they do. They do. They've seen it before. It's almost like he never was president.
By the time they realize it.
This woman is mentally sick, Green Man. This is how the Germans see people like this. And it doesn't matter if they think you're right.
There may not be a way to leave this country.
You have nothing to give. In order to move to Europe, you got to make money. You have to have something to give them. The only reason I got here is because I married into it. Because I did not have the skill set to come here.
Seriously.
You know, the kind of shit that they want at the border, they do in Europe.
Get out while the getting's good. Any of my friends.
I don't know. Do your job. Be a baby maker, I guess. Now that you believe that horseshit, you know.
They all put on this this
is just a whole thread, but I linked you to the specific one.
Oh, okay. Let's go. Okay, go down.
They all put on this theater kid act that's so great. When this is the day that darkness rises, my friends. We must escape while the climate is good. For when the darkness falls on all of us.
Jesus is coming. Jesus is coming back. That's what that sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Get right. Jesus is coming. Fucking, it's ridiculous. My account was. I'm leaving X. Who are you and who cares? And self-importance is a real elitism and self-importance. My account will stay up. I will schedule some posts about some important news from Buffer, but I won't be reading or engaging in any further after this week. Not with Elon aiding the rise of a fascist government. Oh, I love her. God, I love her. She's so disconnected. I heard the guy who wrote that libertarian magazine. He said this to her once on Bill Maher's show. Because you ever think about how the other side views things? And she looked at him and she said, "Why did you just call me a hack then?" That was her response. I forget what his name is. Gillard. He has an Italian name. He wears a leather jacket. I forget what the fuck his name is.
NBC News has a projection to make in the presidential contest in the swing state of Pennsylvania. NBC News now projects that presidential contest has been won by Donald Trump. Now, I believe...
This is a woman who cried when she got Trump's tax returns and there was really nothing to go with.
That means that we are at a 266 electoral vote count for Donald Trump. Kamala Harris at 194 electoral votes. So to be clear here, this is the third of the 7 major swing states that have been called. But Georgia and North Carolina and Pennsylvania, as those 3 states, presents an almost an
it's coming. It's coming.
It presents an.
I gotta be honest with you, at this point, and you can all hear me on Nick's stream. I was not 100%. I thought there was fuckery coming.
Insurmountable.
I guess I owe you all an apology. Didn't I say I apologize?
Yeah.
I do. I owe you apologize. I said that the last show. I want to apologize to each and every one of you. I didn't have faith in my country. And both sides and both wings accepted this election so far. If that changes, then I will change again. But in this point, everybody seems to be handling it. Now, they're not handling it well on Twitter, but so what? You're not seeing the shit that I saw in 2000 where the pundits are saying this is illegitimate. So I owe you an apology. I probably should have had more faith in the country. Maybe I wasn't that good a soldier, so what do you want? It's the truth. All I did was...
It's okay, Tommy. You'll be spared the wrath of the Trumpler army.
No, it was both sides. It was both sides. It was both sides. I owe apologies to all my American allies. I was wrong. How's that grab you? But it's not over yet. I won't feel better until she concedes publicly. I won't.
Well, I mean, listen, this is going to sound immodest, but I'm obviously a top-tier candidate. And well, I mean...
No way. No way. Oh, my God.
Imagine being that much of an egomaniac. I apologize. Massachusetts did not legalize mushrooms. Florida did not legalize weed, too, strangely enough.
How many bottles of Barefoot do you think she had? 1 or 2 for this sit down.
Yeah, here's another thing. Where's the fucking 20 million? Where's the 10 million votes? Biden, 81 million votes. Yeah.
I think the funniest thing.
I think I can get away with this. I feel much more comfortable thinking there was fuckery now.
Mm-hmm. No, like a lot of these guys on the left are even saying like, "Wow, we really did steal 2020, didn't we?" There's people fucking making posts like 100,000 likes and shit with that. You know?
If you hit a cop and they gave you 20 years at January 6th, you should be getting the same amount of time where you actually hit a cop, which wouldn't be 20 years. If you walked in the building, you should be pardoned immediately. If you broke windows, you should be treated like a misdemeanor, and I hope Trump does that because that was a bunch of fucking horse shit in J6. Mm-hmm. Yeah, where were these people? And you know, this is the point that what's-his-face always made, the amount of votes. Tucker Carlson. Trump, Biden, 81 million votes for 70 million. Trump, 70 million less. Trump had less votes this time. Although it probably wasn't all in at this point. It's 65. Yeah, where were they? Where's the 10 million? Well, they voted for Trump? And then 10 million Trump voters decided not to vote this time? Get the fuck out of here. Real Donald Trump. Wrong.
Wrong.
Also, Peepaw Riveter sent me something and I just...
Sure, we'll go over all. You guys want to send me shit or send her stuff, we'll fucking go over it. Trump's election is a crisis like no other, not only for the U.S., but for the world. Fuck the world. How about that? All right, here's ought to be a good one. It's a crisis. No, it's an election, and you lost. That's the thing. It's so funny because they went so hard in J6. If they go too hard in this angle, everybody's going to be like, get the fuck out of here. And they know it. I don't know if that's going to totally stop all of them. I'm still waiting for the big pundit, the big left wing to say it's fixed. It's got to be more than a douchebag on Twitter, but I'm waiting for it. I haven't seen it yet, though, in fairness. And maybe that's why I owe you an apology before. This is great. Who could not like this? You're done. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Nothing.
Nothing. You're not going to do a goddamn thing. You're going to sit there with your dumb fucking dyed hair and fucking cry and show everybody how much. And this is probably big virtue. So it's probably about as sincere as Boogie's shirt tear. You know?
These people should be happy. They get 4 more years of acting like a victim and getting attention for it. Like
that's another thing. For all you guys that think like they do this every year with like Rush Limbaugh. Oh, a Republican got elected. Rush Limbaugh's done. He's got what he wanted. There's no other angle to go, and he was fine. Bill Clinton got elected. Rush Limbaugh's done. No, he had plenty to talk about. The left-wing commentators are gonna have a fucking blast. Mm-hmm. You'll be fine. It doesn't. It actually probably helps. It's content. You know.
You get to be the rebel now. You get to be the guy that's fighting against the machine.
You get to be the rebel now. You actually get. See, that's the thing. They run when they're in charge. They run like they're fighting the machine, and they are the machine. You know, it's too funny. Kamala Harris' best chance for the presidency is through Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Nevada. We've known this. The blue wall will stand tall. I guess we wrote right. Many of us are in shock this morning. It's okay to take time to recuperate, take a walk, and grieve. I think if you grieve, there's something wrong with you. I mean, that sucks. Maybe bitching to your friend, but go to work and shut the fuck up. We'll be here for you when you're ready to return because the fight must go on. You won't let us turn our beautiful country into a dictatorship. Here's the thing: like every one of these people should be fucking named when he leaves office in 4 years. Just like you know why? Because there wasn't enough of people being held accountable for the Russia horse shit. There's work to do, and there's still work for you or whatever.
We shall fight them on the beaches. We shall fight them.
I know that's how they see themselves. Oh, these fucking cackling cunts.
Oh, God.
I don't know. I'm profoundly disturbed.
Who cares?
I think if you look at the New York...
when you're a man, you never get to say shit like this.
No.
You never get... Because people's like, oh, are you? That's what people do when you're a guy. When you're a woman, you can sit there and talk about your fucking feelings. You know?
New York Times this morning, the headline was America makes a perilous choice. I think that in 2016 we did...
What'd you say?
Whoopi said they're gonna like break up these interracial marriages, right? And then like deport, the spouse or whatever. And then like
I have an interracial marriage in my family, and I think they think it's complete bullshit.
Didn't know what
and they're a lot darker than she is.
Would get from a Trump administration, but we know now. And we know now that he will have almost unfettered power. And so I worry.
No, he actually has a mandate.
No, they're worried that he will have the power that they instilled in the government for the 4 years. Yeah. That's the fucking...
I bet they don't want to get rid of the filibuster now. Which, by the way, I don't care if they do.
Not about myself, actually. I don't worry about my station in life. I worry about the working class.
Well, you don't. No, you don't. And you lost them. The Republican Party is officially now the party of the working class. You lost them. And it's not like the Republicans courted them. Trump did. You lost them. You're like, fuck you, you're white, shut up. Well, a lot of white people are working class and poor.
I worry about my mother, a retired teacher. I worry about
take her pension away. That's what's going to happen.
Our elderly and their Social Security and their Medicare. I worry about my children's future, especially my daughter, who now
come to Germany
has less rights than I have. And I remember my father telling me many, many years ago that I was the first person in
you make it about herself,
his family, to enjoy full civil rights. And now I have less civil rights than I had when he told me that. So again, I'm profoundly disturbed that the 14th Amendment of the Constitution did not prevent someone who participated in an insurrection from becoming president of the United States.
You got to convict him, and you couldn't get a conviction either. Because nobody bought it. Let's see. Biden has 2 more months to continue and accelerate the U.S. economy against the Republicans take credit for it. Like I said, they do this every time. Obama did it. Carter did it. This is a liberal thing. It's over. I'm calling it. Ferris wins. I do think, in fairness to Destiny, I think he was twisting the knife. I think he turned the stream off because he knew it was over.
Rate proposed community notes. There's community notes on that. Actually, Destiny.
He was busting balls, I think. I don't think he's that stupid.
Yeah.
He's delusional, but not stupid.
I love this guy on CNN. They get so pissed off at him.
I know, like, they have to sit there and listen because they usually shit on him. Bill
eyes like daggers.
This is a mandate.
Yep.
He's won the national popular vote for the first time since...
That surprised me. I am shocked he won the popular vote.
The way that it is a total... not only is it the electoral, it's the popular. I mean,
I never saw that coming in a million
insane.
Years.
Republican for the first time since 2004. This is a big deal. This isn't backing into the office. This is a mandate to do what you said you were going to do. Get the economy working again for regular working class Americans. Fix immigration. Try to get crime under control. Try to reduce the chaos in the world. This is a mandate from the American people to do that. I think I'm interpreting the results tonight as the revenge of just the regular old working class American, the anonymous American who has been crushed, insulted, condescended to. They're not garbage. They're not Nazis. They're just regular people who get up and go to work every day and are trying to make a better life for their...
Yeah, that's another thing, too. You call those people fucking Nazis that went to that thing. How are you gonna turn them now to any of your future proposals? Those people think I'm Nazi.
You would have to literally throw Kamala and her gang under the bus, in order to do that and say, no, she was totally out of line. Yeah. We don't support her.
They may do that, but it won't be for a couple years.
Kids, and they feel like they have been told to just shut up when they have complained about the things that are hurting them in their own lives. I also feel like this election, as we sit here and pour over this tonight, is something of an indictment of the political information complex.
Yes, sir.
We've been sitting around
this is the greatest part of it. This is the best part. They went all fucking in. All in with the fascist shit. And there is no way that they could walk away now and realized they had the influence they had a couple years ago. We've all known online here, all us non-normies, that they've lost it a long time ago. They don't have the pull, but now they can't deny it even to themselves.
Last couple of weeks, and the story that was portrayed was not true. I mean, we were told Puerto Rico was going to change the election. Liz Cheney, Nikki Haley voters, women lying to their husbands. Before that, it was Tim Walz and the camo hats. Night after night after night, we were told all these things and gimmicks were going to somehow push Harris over the line. And we were just ignoring the fundamentals. Inflation, people feeling like that they were barely able to tread water at best. That was the fundamentals of the election.
By the way, that always is the fundamentals of every election.
And so
it's either keeping what you have or getting back to where you were. We're having a chance. And they thought calling everybody a racist would fucking end this.
So I think that both parties should always look at the results of an election and figure out what went right and what went wrong. But I think for all of us who cover elections and talk about elections,
Trump did.
elections and do this on a day-to-day basis, we have to figure out how to understand, talk to, and listen to the half of the country that rose up tonight and said, we've had enough.
Fat chance, fucko. Oh, listen to this fucking maniac.
Just say really quickly, too. Democrats need to be mature, and they need to be honest. And they need to say, yes, there's misogyny. But it's not just misogyny.
And they're going right to where they were.
From white men.
Yeah.
It's misogyny.
I think hating white men would be, really effective. Keep hating them. I don't even give a fuck anymore.
This is like
it used to bother me how much they hated me because of my skin color. Now I kind of like it.
This is like watching a hamster spinning a wheel, and then he like tires himself out, and he just like is just lying down, and then he gets right back up, gets on that wheel again, baby.
Men. Right. It's misogyny from black men. Things we've all been taught.
It's misogyny from black men.
Yeah, I know. Hey, pool's open, black men. You can hang out with us now because you're in the same fucking boat.
Well, hey,
you're no fucking good like us whiteys. Come on in. Come on, it's a good time, believe me.
well, Joe Scarborough's like, well, we didn't want you anyways. Actually, we never wanted you to join our club anyways.
Yeah.
Talking about
get out of
who
here.
do not want a woman leading them.
That's
might be race issues with Hispanics. They don't want a black woman.
It might be people like you that support her that say white people are the worst. And now you're saying black men are the worst.
He's really throwing he's going down the list of which minorities to blame, and he's like throwing them all under the bus.
Well, Latinos really got it coming.
Do you know how offensive it is if a white guy is sitting up there and saying, like, if I was up there and I was saying,
that about
you know what the problem with the Trump, you know why Trump didn't win? Because of the blacks and the Latinos.
They don't know what's good for them. We know what's good for them.
What the fuck, man?
That's too funny.
As President of the United States, the Democratic Party, I've always found when you're sitting around talking, they love to just sort of balkanize everybody into these separate groups and say, oh, white people don't like women and black people. No, it is time for the Democrats to say, okay, and you and I have talked about this before, a lot of Hispanic voters have problems.
Oh, so instead of blaming the whites, you're going to blame the fucking Hispanics? That's so funny. Hey, by the way, AC, fuck you.
That's true. Fuck me.
With black candidates.
Right.
A lot
and
of
with other Hispanics, you got some that don't like it.
Yeah, they're gonna divide the left. I'm all for it. The far left blacks, the ones that are in bomb pods, are going to fucking make more Hispanic right wingers by doing this. So go for it.
Each other and
As if
some
there
of the
weren't
most
already
misogynist.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, and you know what? By doing that, when the blacks voted for Trump see that, they're like going to be like, holy fuck, that could have been me.
These things I've heard going on this Get Out the Vote tour came from black men. I mean, misogynist things. So you're absolutely.
Even good old Al Sharpton, defender of the black man, is throwing black men under the bus.
Right. It's not simplistic. And we've got to have real honest conversations about it.
No. You know what real honest conversation means? Lecture. Lecture. That's what I was
Real
talking about
honest
yesterday. Yeah,
conversation.
that means lecture. You're no fucking good. Accept it. That's what an honest conversation. An honest conversation from a leftist is a one-way conversation. Unbelievable.
It's ingsoc, man.
This,
real honest conversation. Fake dishonest lecture.
This is one of the most racist people in politics in major media is Joy Reid.
And we begin our final sprint.
And here's another thing. Did you know what group of people always put race and class at the top of the fucking list on everything? Soviets and Nazis. That's who did that. Everything is about race, or is it about class? Class for the left, traditionally, not anymore, and race for the Nazis. And then that explains everything. Worked for Hitler.
And having arrived at that point in the election season where basically we on this side of the TV screen have said all we can. We've laid
You sure did.
out the stakes in this crucial election where one side stands for freedom while the other meets the textbook definition of fascism, namely a far
He used to piss me off like a day ago. Now it's funny.
right dictatorial regime like Hitler's Germany or Franco's Spain or Mussolini's Italy, but also white-ruled South Africa before Mandela and the black majority took control, or Vladimir Putin's Russia, Viktor Orban's Hungary, or Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela today.
Just
Oppresses
attacking
the rights of women
every
and minorities,
single leader.
uses the
past
military
and
to
present, rather.
execute the whims of a strongman dictator.
Tossing Putin and Maduro and all that shit in there.
We've
Just
had
like,
strong
yeah,
men. We've had strong men in the office that weren't dictators.
it's just like they just go down the list of like the approved enemies, and it's like, yep, this is you.
Billie Eilish regrets Trump winning the election. Oh, there's somebody I need to hear from. Somebody who sings for a living.
The bald
It's a
guy
war
one.
on
The bald
women.
guy one's
And
pretty good.
you're a fucking genius.
I thought Kamala was Brat though. Wasn't she Brat? That was what was going to win the election.
Yeah.
It is not over for Kamala.
It is.
And all
She's conceding in like half an hour.
of you celebrating a Trump victory before the votes are even fully counted, may I remind you...
Are you kidding me? Like, that's another thing. Most of this shit was over by 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time up until 2000. The country got divided. It was usually one and done. It was easy. One of the things I'm most proud about, and one of the things I owe you an apology the most for, apparently, the greatest democracy and the most successful democracy of all time, the most successful republic, can actually have an election and have it not go overnight. And I got news for you. Had it been a Kamala that won Pennsylvania, they'd have called it. You know what they called it? Because everybody knew it was over, and the AP and MSNBC and CNN, they just couldn't bear to do it. It was pure cope.
That a lot can change at the last minute. And
Even we drive truckloads of ballots.
even if we do
That's what I was worried about, I'll be honest with you. I was wrong.
fail to win the presidency for Kamala, after all the work I've done for white dudes for Kamala over the...
I gotta be honest with you. You're not the white dude that any fucking teenage boy wants to be. Look at you. Look at the way you're dressed. Look at your glasses. Look at the way you talk. Nobody wants to be that. Nobody wants to be that unless they have to.
Don't you want to be bald at 30 like me?
Yeah.
And wearing big fucking...
Well, that's not as
bottle
cool. You can still be cool and bald at 30, you know?
Yeah, but he's literally every stereotype that people classically associate with uncool. I mean...
See, and that's another thing they don't get either, is they used to be the cool kids in the room, and they were. They were way cooler than the conservatives. And now they're not cool. They're just a bunch of fucking soy boy jerk-offs lecturing you.
dudes for Kamala over the last few months. We will return in 2028. Kamala 2028 will be the greatest.
They are not running her again. Nobody gets
Kamala 2028.
She's not going to run, and I'll tell you why.
No way.
Traditionally, if you lose, you can't run for any office again. And the Democrats run you fucking out of town. You're a loser. Get out of here. And if you're a Republican, yeah, there's still some of that. But you can pull a Mitt Romney if you want.
The fact of the matter is, when you lose, that it's not that you just lost the race; you lost all that money, all the money that's poured into you.
Do you know you can keep it? Do you know you can keep it?
As the candidate?
Yeah,
Right? Isn't that what?
You don't have to
I mean,
return. So if she's got like $100
Bernie
million,
did that, didn't he?
Yes, he did. If she's got $100 million left over, if she's got it, sir.
No refunds.
No refunds. She's not required at this point. She's not required to spend it on anything other than whatever the fuck she likes.
Political comeback the world has ever seen, not just America, but the world. And I firmly believe that Kamala is still the best person in the whole of the United
States. Why? Because she's black? Why? She couldn't even win within your own party. She refused. Like, one of the biggest concerns is immigration. And no matter how we tell you, Jeff's telling you it's not immigration. We have we don't have an immigration problem. What did he say? We have a problem. I fucking forgot.
United States to be the president of this country. And if we band together now...
Oh, shut up.
I firmly believe,
this guy
and my wife's boyfriend Tyrone firmly believes that Kamala is the best. They're not beating those allegations.
That's all that you see. That's all you see when you see that guy.
So the election between Donald Trump and Kamala Harris has not been called yet. We do not know who the winner is, but it is pointing in one direction. And
America failed women. You know what really gets me about the whole abortion issue? Whenever I see anti-abortion protest, it's always more women than men. The idea that all women feel the same way about abortion is utterly and fucking stupid. Don't believe me? When the Supreme Court technically legalized it in 1972, they were never able to codify it. You know why? Not because they didn't want to. It's clearly the most important to every liberal. It's the issue. It's abortion. And it wasn't even that big an issue this year. It wasn't even that as big an issue. I think it'd be a civil war if they ever overturned it, Roe v. Wade. Why do you think that all women feel the same way about abortion? Some women find it absolutely repulsive. It's not just a man thing. Most men, I got news when it comes to abortion, this is 90% of men. I'm out of here. I don't got an opinion. That's 90% of men. If you look at any of those anti-abortion lobby, it's majority women. So stop speaking for everybody.
And it's not final, but I just wanted to say that America failed women tonight, primarily. Trump has insulted women, berated them, has been found liable in court for assaulting.
What was that broad's name from Arizona? From Alaska? Was it Palin? What? Yeah, Palin. All the rules went out of the window when it came to insulting and being women. I noticed that. It's not, when they talk about women, they failed liberal women. That's it. Mm-hmm. Women come in all shapes, sizes, and thoughts. They're not a monolith.
Well, you know, Kamala's not a maverick.
Yeah. A maverick.
That's
you maverick?
Problem.
Yeah. Oh, I remember the way they talked about her.
Yeah.
And he took women's reproductive rights away. And instead of standing up to that, people voted for it.
No. Like, he was very open about wanting to overturn that. And you know what? He clearly has enough support because it wasn't enough an issue for guys to win on. That's the way democracy works.
And we failed.
You can't rely on you're not allowed to have an opinion because you're A, B, and C. Usually white.
Our daughters, our mothers, our sisters, our wives, tonight, America failed them. We failed.
Oh, good thing you can get an abortion over here in Europe.
I got bad news for Harry. He still has to be the concubine for the guy that shot Bin Laden.
I heard he said
that was the agreement.
That's what they say. He's going to be a concubine. That's so funny.
He said that I would make. He looked at Harry and a bunch of other guys. Yeah, and there's like, these would be my concubines.
No. You're not allowed to say anything. You're allowed to get an abortion, Jeannie.
It's Roman homosexuality.
You know, I think Rogan put it the best. I don't necessarily believe this. I am dead set against this. I don't care who knows it. And I've been dead set against it. It has nothing to do with religion. I just find it repulsive. I get the same feeling about abortion when I see like a snuff film. It disgusts me. All right. Let's not get into that. All right. That's the way I feel, and I'm entitled to it. All right.
But you'll never be as entitled as Harry.
Yeah. Here's the thing about abortion. I would say, I think most people believe within the first 3 months, the first trimester, it's legit. Once you get after that, it's not the same. When abortion was made legal by Roe v. Wade, it was decided that was first 3 months. Then it became 6. Then it became right up until the time of giving birth. There are lefties that don't buy that. They just think it's murder. It's a spectrum. Now, some people think the whole I don't personally believe this, but some people believe this. The whole clump of cells thing. But that's the thing. It's not a clump of cells anymore. It's whenever the fuck you feel like it.
Failed them.
And they, keep in mind, they could never get it codified. They don't have a majority.
It is unfortunately the reality of the system.
When did they overturn it? 1970 or 2003, right? No. Was it under Trump they did it? Or was it under Biden?
Yeah.
It was under Biden.
I think it was
It was 2022, right? Okay.
Yeah, 2022.
50 fucking years they had. 50 years. And I got news for you. You got if you believe in the American system, if they got it codified federally, then that's the end of it. It's discussing it. You can leave the country if you like.
Situation. So I'm sorry to everybody out there who will be impacted by.
Nobody cares. Just some dumb guy.
Notice he's sorry for, he's not sorry for his own actions. He's
Yeah.
sorry for other things that he can't control. Right? Avoid
to
responsibility at all costs.
Let's give the former communist, what's his face?
The thing I think is most important to remember is the people who said that he was a Hitler lover weren't Democrats. They were Republicans. People who said that he was a fascist weren't Democrats. They were Republicans.
He's saying the Democrats weren't saying that, it was all the Republicans. And some Republicans did say that. They were all jumping on the fucking lefty train, and it didn't work. You guys said it just as much. I mean, how dishonest can this guy be?
And so it's not just these elite Democrats over here, poisoning the well. You had a pretty broad consensus from Chomsky to the Cheneys, that was very, very concerned and remains concerned. And so I think it's not just on us to stop calling names. I think it's up to him to.
It's still the Republicans' fault that they called him a Nazi.
Yes.
It's Trump's fault they called Trump a Nazi.
Look, we can call you whatever we want as long as we're concerned.
You know what that means? He does realize in some level that was a bad move. He like politically. He does realize that. So he does it wasn't our fault. It was somebody else's fault.
As Allison said, with deeds show that he's not going to be those things. The thing I think is most important to remember is.
What a dipshit. This is funny. This is pretty good. This is probably the biggest reason she lost.
So you asked, are there any places that the vice president is overperforming Joe Biden in 2020? So we could show you that as well. We just bring that out here. Harris overperforming in 2020.
Holy smokes.
There you go. So let this go well and see if there's anything on the east side.
Nowhere!
There.
Literally nothing?
Literally nothing.
Literally not one county?
Yeah! But it's the Republicans' fault because they called him a Nazi.
Regulate social media because one of the biggest offenders is DC and Congress have not been able to do one thing in regard to the rogue.
Yeah. Hey, they talk about Nazis.
Hey, man, you need an ID to make it count.
Yeah.
Too many anonymous trolls have obviously swayed this election.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
Well, guess what? It's good. Maybe that's completely and totally unconstitutional. And I don't buy this shit. Also, they always try to hide their fucking Nazism through responsibility and misinformation. Don't criticize us in actual terms.
This is the insane thing is 20 years ago, if you fucking said, hey, everybody should have an ID to post online, nobody should go under a pseudonym, everybody would unanimously call you retarded.
They know who would be leading charge? The left.
I personally think that if all of these men are voting to take our rights away, they don't deserve to touch a woman for the next 4 years.
Guess what? I'm going to go touch one tomorrow night.
So.
Yeah, I'm going to bang my wife's brains out.
Tommy! Wait a second, Tommy! I won't get pussy!
I mean, really, like how childish. I mean, it's a funny joke. What is that old play where the men are fighting in a war, and what they do is they withhold sex from them to stop the war. It's a cute play. I forget what it's called. I've seen it before. It's really funny. They think that shit's real and not just funny.
I love it. The threats. Oh, you know who? The incels are going to be so mad that she told them that they won't get
All right,
pussy.
here's another thing.
You know?
Chicks that support Trump are hotter. How about that? I won't get any blue hair in my teeth.
I find it hotter when a woman isn't completely helpless and a slave to her emotions.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's that broad that used to do Trump's press secretary? She has an Irish last name. She's a knockout.
Fucking, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember. Shit.
There's a
He has
reason
a
why
good
educated
he
people
picks
love
him.
him. Here's more of the elitism. There's a reason why educated people love Blue. What we're seeing is the unsophisticated population of America and the rest of the country hostage. They don't believe in democracy. They don't. This is why there's such a push to weaken education, ban books, and outlaw teaching of Black history in the Republican Party. And of course, that's a lie. The biggest thing in my mind is how do we teach today as teachers? Go to work, don't shove your politics around your kids' throat, and teach them how to read and write. That's how you do it. You never should be involved in politics with the kids anyway. I was a little worried when Tommy went to school today, but everybody behaved themselves. Teachers and professors, he didn't even know Trump won, which is good. Because that should be something within our family, not the teachers. I want to cancel classes all week and hold space for my predominantly immigrant, radicalized, trans queer student. After 2016, today isn't necessarily a shock, but today is, well, hard. Still not as good as 2016 when that woman was.
She went to college to become a doctor for that, very insightful take.
Vito. Sorry, Vito. It's fucking funny. I love, here's the thing. I really like Vito a lot. I do. He's a fun guy, but he's completely brainwashed on this shit. Oh, Fosh. Fosh is.
Remember this guy?
Oh, remember him? The horse fucker.
It turns out Muslim voters actually voted for Trump. And you are basing this off of this? A single tweet. Election day voted in a Dearborn precinct. Trump, Stein, Harris. This is all it takes for you? That's it? That's all it takes?
Dearborn's got the biggest Muslim population. If that's true, and he is kind of right. Like, this doesn't make anything. But Dearborn, Michigan has a huge Muslim population. Let me give you an idea. When I was in Iraq, right? Guess where most of the translators are from? Dearborn, Michigan, or surrounding areas. So I don't know if that's true or not. But you know what? Religious Muslims don't go for this transgender horse shit. Absolutely. Neither do religious Jews or Christians or any of them. When you run for president, there is a part that you at least have to appear that you're for everybody. You can't cut certain minority groups you don't like out. Or, in the liberals' case, majority groups. It's called getting the most votes, stupid.
It's a single tweet? Numbers and names?
Can you find out if that's true? That'd be funny if it's true. Had Muslims vote.
Find out what? Sorry.
You'd find out how Muslims voted in Dearborn, Michigan. That would be funny if it's true. I do think, in some sense, he's correct. But
that's it.
That is no way to go and say that's happened. But it is still fucking funny.
In one precinct and some numbers and names? Get a hold of yourself.
That's a good poll for the rest of Muslims. Hold on, see again.
Get a hold of yourself.
Get a hold of yourself. That's so funny. Get a hold of yourself.
Get a hold of some horse cock.
Yeah. Some hopium from Vosh's server. Everyone, I want to let you know that I understand that you're worried and concerned with the election results, and I'm pretty sure this is a communist talking. Somebody who has absolutely nothing to do with democracy if they don't have to. I'm pretty sure I'm not only speaking for myself, but the rest of the mod team when we're also disappointed in the results. We, however, need to talk about a really disappointing increase of doomering and Fed posting in the mod. This is a top priority in the mod team is seeing is not only obvious. Maybe there's just a few people in there. It's like, maybe we're going about this wrong. Get rid of them, Doomer. I wonder if that's it. That's a guess of mine. Obviously, assholes are thinking of venting here, either of those inappropriate ways to stop, but we also want to consider the following advice we have thought of. Fascists are incredibly incompetent. Their policies have not stood the test of time. That's true. That's actually literally true. That's true. But they're not fascist, so you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah, apparently we were competent enough to vote Trump in. So
yeah,
right.
Trump has not followed through on several of his previous campaign promise. Show me the guy who did. Also, there's no guarantee that worst case scenario will necessarily unfold. It did. The House isn't sewed up yet. That usually takes a while, as is, and there's probably going to be recounts and real some states have laws where if you're really close, you have to do it again. You have to do a second round election between the two top candidates. You'll probably see a few of those.
You know what's crazy is I actually do agree with this second bullet point, and it's not for the reasons that they want. It's that all of this shit that they are fear-mongering and have been fear-mongering about Trump, I guarantee 99.9% of it won't happen. And it definitely won't happen the way that they think. If that 0.1% happens. Right?
I think by the end of Trump's term, they're going to pretend this never happened, kind of like they pretend Russia never happened.
Well, and then the flip side of that is that all of the things that we've been worried about happening under Biden's presidency, we've seen a lot of that unfold, and so we had a guarantee that would just keep going on.
In record time, it was like it was the first thing he did. He cut the oil pipeline, which really cut his own fucking dick off because that cheap gas is good. And people like when they have cheap gas, and guess what's going to get the credit for it? Biden would have gotten the credit. It was the first thing they fucking cut off. They cut their dicks off immediately. Then Afghanistan right after that. It was one thing after a fucking another. Yeah. And they thought they could hold it together by shaming everybody. And telling everybody they're stupid.
Gaslighting everybody.
Gaslighting, telling them they're stupid. You know.
Hey, now 4th of July picnics are down, 60 cents from last year. All right.
Yeah, something like that.
Right?
Oh, yeah, what was that? Turkeys were slightly down or something like that. Like 10 cents or some shit like that. You know? Or my personal favorite, the economy's good, you just don't understand that it's good. Well, when you don't have to think about it, it's usually good. Trump has not followed through in several periods. Yeah, I actually agree. There's no guarantee of worst case scenario. Local state officials and community leaders can refuse to enforce directives they don't agree with. Yes, that it's been done before, but it's supposed to be illegal. Now you're talking about civil war. Texas attorney generals have, for example, protected trans right in spite of Abbott's orders. Okay. Be a part of the community. Look out for others, and they will look out for you. No, boy, that's creepy, too. We're a family. We're a family. I hate that. I don't want to.
We'll look out for you so long as you agree and lockstep.
That's why I never say that. We're a family here. Oh, fuck. It's creepy.
We're fuckheads here.
We're fuckheads, and you're a fuckhead, too. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
We're the fuckhead family.
You're the fuckhead family. Go fuck off. Leave me alone. Remember, every election has always been just one step in a long journey. Well, that's true. Regardless of who wins and loses, the election is no different. Okay, fair. Why is Vash's community sounding more sane than I thought they would? Spite the people who are praying for your downfall and surviving anyways. Well, that's pretty stupid. Just so hate.
Yeah,
hate. That's a commie thing. That's culty too. Spite them down. Yeah, and finally remember to be kind to each other. Spite your enemy and be kind. You guys are fucking wackos. It's so funny. Banjos and the Verge of Tears. This is a nightmare for black women. I think they'll be all right. I love my black women out there, by the way.
Because I'm thinking about the people who are not a part of anybody's elite who are hurting tonight. There are African-American women who know a little bit about being talked down to. And know a little bit about...
Stop talking down. Stop talking down to him, then, Van Jones.
That's amazing. He's mansplaining.
He's literally saying black men talk down to black women. He's blaming black men. That's what he's doing.
But he's mansplaining it to the female viewers too.
It's too funny.
Having their economic dreams crushed, who tried to dream a big dream.
If you had a dream, even if for Trump too, if you had a big dream and this is your whole being and your whole identity that Kamala has, and you're a black woman or anybody else for that matter, it doesn't even matter what your fucking gender or race, you're fucking ridiculous. You're a ridiculous person. Have your own thing. Have your own family. Don't fucking live through these people. Don't be like Vash's community. That's what you turn into. You start talking about spiting people and be kind. You as a black woman do not need her to be president, to be successful, to have a good life, to have a wonderful family, whatever it is the fuck that you want to do. You don't need them. They need you to think you need them. You don't need them. You don't need Trump. You don't need anybody. And if you think you do, if you think you do, I mean, it really, I'm not even talking to black. I'm just thinking like these people in general that buy this horse shit.
Yeah.
You know? But if you happen to be a black woman, you don't need them. If you're great, it'll shine through most of the time. Some people get fucked, believe me. And nobody's been fucked more in our country than black people. I'll give you that. But it's not the 1930s. You got a good attitude in your shoulders and the economy's good, God permitting. You'll be great. And you don't need Kamala there. It doesn't matter who's there. You can kick ass all on your own. And that goes for everybody.
Here's the message for black women listening right now. I, a white, Trump supporter, I love you. My DMs are open.
I like black chicks.
I do too. What's funny is...
Let me tell you something. Black women are some of the best Americans I know. They're the most earthy, no bullshit people I know, and I appreciate every one of them.
So, wait, Tommy, I told you one time many years ago in a land far, far away, I did have sex, right? And it was not just the funniest thing. It's black and Indian.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Was that a big thing over there in California?
Well, it's a big thing for Kamala Harris, I think. Yeah. It's so funny.
The day before the 2011 Michael Trump to Trump is toast. Actually, it's interesting to think about Michael Moore. Actually, he looks better than he did fucking 20 years ago. What happened to him? He still looks like hell, but he looks better. Maybe he's lost weight. God, if that fat ass can do it, I could do it. With his stupid Detroit Lions, his faux fucking working class horse shit. The day before the election, Michael Trump is toast. But he was the one that said, the biggest fuck you in the world would be Trump. Throw a rock through the system. Remember when throwing the rock through the window and fucking up the system was a cool thing? Mm-hmm. Yeah, not supposed to do that no more. Let's hear Mike. Let's see. He's probably going to do what they all do. They're going to blame gender or race or whatever.
Last month, you wrote Trump is toast. We're almost 48 hours out from perhaps...
Why does a slob like it? I wonder this all the time, too, with YouTubers especially. Why does a slob like him have any fucking, who cares? He's a slob from fucking Michigan.
Seeing our first results, but do you stand behind that today?
Oh, even more so. I just keep wondering the gift that the Trump campaign keeps giving us. I don't think they realize, I don't think they really are in touch with where the majority of Americans are at. Listen, we've had 250 years.
Yeah, he can't even fake this anymore because he used to kind of be there. He used to kind of get Americans.
Nobody in the White House who's a woman. That's 250 years of gender apartheid. It ends this week. What a great week.
Gender apartheid. I mean,
gender apartheid.
This hyperbolic horseshit. Nobody buys it anymore. It's wonderful.
To be alive.
You always have to tie it into some historical racial oppression event. You know.
What I wanted to say.
In the end, this is a pretty decisive.
You wrote Trump.
Can I ask you something? Does the Alamo still bother you?
The Alamo.
Yeah. God.
Well, it still bothers the Latins that voted for Trump.
Yeah, I suppose.
This is a pretty decisive victory for Donald Trump. Take us inside it.
Yeah, a couple ways to look at it, Savannah. You see some of these battlegrounds still, Michigan, Nevada, Arizona, not called. Trump is ahead in all three of those. There's a very good chance Trump is going to go 7 for 7 in the core.
He won Arizona and Nevada, right? Is Michigan in yet? I was wondering.
Battleground state.
That puts him over 300.
I don't think Arizona and Nevada are in yet. According to AP. What got him was, I think Wisconsin pushed him over the 270.
And they're waiting for Alaska all night because Alaska got him in 270, which is the first time in my lifetime that Alaska was ever even mentioned. It used to be in the old days, you found out how Alaska and Hawaii voted the next day, and it was wrapped up by 11 or 12, sometimes 1. But it was usually wrapped up. You woke up the next day, it was over. It could have been, if Kamala Harris would have won goddamn Pennsylvania last night, it would have been over around a fucking midnight.
He's put up.
Or they would have all declared it.
It goes beyond those battleground states.
And them not declaring it was pure fucking cope.
These are the electoral votes. Let's flip it over and show.
And I don't use that very often. It's kind of annoying me, but I'm kind of getting people back for January 6th.
What the popular vote looks like right now. You can see Trump right now with an outright majority of the popular vote, an advantage of more than 5 million votes nationally over Kamala Harris. And where that comes from is some states we don't talk about much, but big states like New York. Now, Kamala Harris is going to.
See, he couldn't win Manhattan, so he couldn't win the 5 boroughs. So you got to win the 5 boroughs. You're going to win New York. But if you win every other county,
win here by 11 points. But just check out what this is in terms of a difference from 2020. That's cut in half from Joe Biden's margin. If you looked inside
Bucks County, Pennsylvania, they were always lefties. They went for Trump.
New York City here, especially the working class areas, the outer boroughs of New York City.
The Bronx.
There you go. Some major gains.
Are you kidding me? Did she say he won the Bronx? No, impossible. Well, he was in the Bronx, wasn't he? Didn't he campaign there?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think he did campaign there.
I'm not sure either.
Did she just say he won the Bronx? That's where, what's his face is from.
Cut in half from Joe Biden's margin. If you looked inside New York City here, especially the working class areas, the outer boroughs of New York City.
The Bronx.
There you go.
The Bronx is north. Oh no, it's in the west. It's on the west side, and it's north of, south of Yonkers. So Yonkers probably went that way.
Major gains for Trump there that have really kind of been unthinkable for Republicans.
He won the Bronx.
Yeah,
I can't believe that. Not in my life. I don't think. I bet Reagan didn't win the Bronx
for a long time. You see it too. These kinds of gains in a state like New Jersey. You see it in a state like Maryland. They're still blue, but they're a lot less blue. You see it in a state like...
because they get all like the city areas. Like you get like Jersey City or Atlantic City, and then everybody else votes Trump. Yeah.
Illinois, look at this one.
Oh my God! Look at that! He's got Chicago. That was it. Oh,
51-47. We're over 90% of the vote, and Harris is going to win. She's not winning like Joe Biden did just 4 years ago. 17 points right there. So you start.
Trump really did a good job, man.
Start getting those gains for Donald Trump in those.
No, see, he lied to the people. They were just too stupid to figure it out.
Big blue states. I mean, that adds up to millions of votes. That's why he has this popular vote advantage. That's why I think there's a very good chance he's going to end up winning the.
That's fucking funny. Yeah. I had my husband make us go bags weeks ago. I hoped, manifest his wish every day that we never had to use them, but here we are. It happened. I'm completely numb. I thought I'd be a mess right now, but nothing. I haven't even cried. My husband, on the other hand, is wailing.
What? Wait, what?
Screaming, banging his head on the kitchen cabinets. You should go. You should go to jail. You should be away from the rest of us. You whack up. He has a history of self-harm.
Oh my gosh.
Be a better wife. And I'm terrified he's about to relapse. Our daughters are crying. Probably because your husband's banging his head against the fucking kitchen. Bang. That's probably make my cat. Watch me do that. I'm not doing that tomorrow. Tommy be in tears. Our daughters are crying, asking if they're safe. Why don't you tell them they're safe? That's the right thing to do. If I thought
they didn't.
If there was some kind of Nazi uprising up over here, he's right, Tom. We're going to take care of you. We're going to do the best we can. Blah, blah, blah. You're a terrible parent.
No, they terrify them as look.
Terrify them, yeah, because that's brainwashing. Our daughters are crying. If they were safe, they had to compromise herself and tell them that no, they're not. We're not. What a horrible
failure.
Because if you read what's her face from the Netherlands, she had great parents, and they were in a bad situation, and a lot worse than fucking you. Anne Frank. They always had hope. And you're nowhere near Anne Frank. You're spitting in Anne Frank's face. They
Do you want
always
to know a
had
fun
hope.
fact about that?
What's that?
Is Mein Kampf and the Diary of Anne Frank entered the public domain on the same day, January 1st, I think it was 2016. Because of the whole, because they died the same year.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like 70 years after they died when they released it. So
Jesus. I remember he's probably on drugs, but Justin Bieber went to the Anne Frank Museum and he says, I bet you would have been a Bieberite or whatever the fuck they called him.
yeah.
Fucking, he must have been on drugs for that one.
She would have been a believer.
A believer. Yeah, no. I think she would have just not to have been killed by Germans. Our lives here in the city are over. We've both lived here since birth, multiple generations of family born here. But we won't let our trans daughters be taken from us. This can't be. This is fake.
This has to be a joke. This has to be a fucking joke. This is bait. Come on.
Yeah, all right.
Come the fuck on.
This is fake. And if it isn't, good.
Well, I guess the account is called Reddit Lies anyways, so.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Maybe they're giving away their. Andrew Tate.
No, he's supposed to put the A at the end, you jerk off. He's not. He's not. It'll be cooler.
He's like half, isn't he?
Stop that. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not actually sure what Andrew Tate is.
It was his dad was.
He's black. His dad was black.
Yeah, his dad was black.
Okay.
So he gets the pass.
No, he doesn't get the page. You're not supposed to say that either.
That's right. You can't call white people the N-word. I don't allow it as a white man.
I can't wait to lose all my rights. Look, I might generally kill myself if Trump wins. You'll be missed. If Donald Trump wins, I'm going to kill myself. If Donald Trump wins, I'm going to. It's all the same. All right.
It's the same stuff from 2016. You
remember? A single person in there is above 18.
Yeah, I know.
Not a single.
They're probably going to kill themselves anyway. Teenagers tend to do that.
Yeah, they're just looking for an excuse.
This is really cool. I don't know if Comic Con picked it up or not. And they did. Although this year was, I noticed the views were really off this year for Kamala Trump in ERB. I love ERB. I know they're not making as much as they used to, but they're one of the first YouTube giants.
Can't stand them.
I know you can't because everybody loves
because them. It's not. I don't hate them. It's just like anytime someone's watching them, they pull up one video, then it turns into like another one, then another one, then another. Next thing you know, you guys are spending like 3 hours watching.
Everybody loves them. Everybody loves them, and you're a hater. But if you notice, whoever's on the left wins.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's so funny.
Yeah.
Right.
Obama, Trump, Biden, Trump. Yeah.
Look at that. Received it. Did he block me yet? I hope so.
Was that but that was like a long time ago, right?
Yeah, wasn't that literally years ago?
Because wasn't that your screenshot?
Oh, he just wrote me, dude, you're 50. You're an embarrassment. Not as embarrassing as you look at a dress.
I haven't seen Jalen in like 8 months, bro.
Jalen, did you get your go bag ready?
Yeah.
This is awesome.
And I'm going to send him a beer. Never. Yeah.
Jalen's like one bad day away.
I wrote it back. When I saw this, and I clipped it to him when I said, because I know he follows me, and I wrote, "Feel free, you degenerate." And then he wrote, "Dude, you're like 50. You're in Paris." Son Piker's uncle. If you think Trump is going to win easy tomorrow, Destiny said something like this too. Because everyone you know is on X is on his side. You've got a rude awakening. No, I don't. I wasn't super confident. I was not super confident. I was not super confident he was going to win.
I got gaslighted.
You
I legit got gaslighted.
Really?
Yeah, I was like, I guess Kamala's going to fucking win. Everybody's so goddamn confident.
Goddamn. You didn't believe in the plan? You didn't trust the plan?
I didn't.
It was just hard. It was hard to like picture like Trump getting elected again.
Did you forget to stand back and stand by, Patriot?
But you know what really got me is both sides were confident in ways that weren't comfortable to me. I'm like, I've never seen anything like this, and I just, like the only thing is one side's definitely fucking lying. Like, so one side knows they're more than likely going to lose and they're just going through the motions.
Yeah, it almost felt like both sides were blowing smoke up their ass.
I know how to,
but it turns out one side was actually right. So
I had this feeling months ago, and my only concern was, are they going to try to steal it?
Yeah,
like that was it. Are they going to try to fuck with it and do the blue?
10 million
blue
less
line?
votes, or I think it's 20 now. I
It's
feel a
50
lot more.
million.
I feel a lot more fucking comfortable thinking that's like. Here's the thing. I said this yesterday on Trump's show. My issue with the election had nothing to do with the voting machines. I think there was a real bad alley that he went down. My issue was you're supposed to make changes in the election code by state. The Constitution directs it be done to the legislature. Voting boards did it, mayors did it, and governors did it, and their excuse was COVID. There's nothing in the Constitution, an emergency, you can just change the laws. You can rule by decree. That was my issue. But here's the thing. Oh, God, he just wrote me a paragraph. Oh, God. Oh, we'll read it in a second. I'll read it in a second. Thanks for the content. Thanks for the content. I'll read it now.
Screenshot it. He might delete it. Gee.
Oh, yeah. Good point. He's correcting it too. Now let me make sure I got this motherfucker too. Boom, I got it. All right, I'll check that later.
You were talking about the voting.
Yeah, you're talking about the problem with the voting.
Okay, the problem with the voting. Here's the thing. This is why Trump lost. Okay, when he took that to the Supreme Court refused to hear it. That's it. It's over. Trump lost. That's where I think the fuckery was. Subscribe to Destiny.
Well, I tell you, like the thing that like when I was listening to Nick's stream with you on there, it freaked me out that like Nick, like they didn't even make Nick show his ID when he went in. They just was like, "What's your name? Oh, here you go."
That's what they want. They want everything to be fucking muddled. They want it muddled. They want it murky. Of course they
get
do.
Upset.
What do you think? What do you think? It's really about race? You really think it's about fucking because black people can't figure out how to fucking get an ID? Do you believe that? It's about muddying the waters.
It's just like what's stopping someone?
All black people
going there.
You have to have an ID to get fucking your medication. You have to have an ID to get a fucking license. You got, but not to vote. Get the fuck out! It's about muddying the water. The race part is a total gaslight.
Yeah,
it's just a gaslight. It always was.
They get upset if you ask them if you need voter ID out here in California. If you ask the people, and also I don't know if you saw the running gag where people were just like posting a photo, like just one photo of a Trump ballot, and then a photo of their passport that shows they're from France, and it was like, I did my duty, Thank goodness there's no voter ID, and like a million people were doing that.
So go back to what I was saying before. Now, what's his name? Tucker Carlson was talking about the sheer amount of votes. We'd never seen anything like that before. We're probably not going to see anything like that since. And all those votes are gone. Where did they go? They all die? So now I think there probably was fuckery back then.
It's like that scene in Gaines, New York, where the guy's like, "Did you vote?" He's like, "Yeah, all right, we'll go vote again."
Literally.
I'm gonna go. Jeannie sent me more stuff. This is fun.
Yeah, Tom. A bunch of people sent stuff. So.
All right, let's go through it.
Yeah, if you scroll up to where monkey.
This is my favorite. World in shock. I guarantee. I go to the pub right now. Nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah, that's the difference between online world and the real world.
The real world, yeah.
Yeah, I just walked through the streets like an hour ago. Like no one cares. Everybody's doing their normal.
The world in shock. Everybody's just on a razor's edge.
No one's celebrating. No one's sad. Like nothing. No one cares.
No one cares.
Believe me, there's riots in Guam right now. They're tearing it apart.
We did not expect this result, but we are prepared to respond to this result. And my office has been preparing for several months because we've been here before. We faced this challenge before, and we used the rule of law to fight back. And
thanks for putting him in office.
Mm-hmm.
Probably with black men who feel fucking, let me tell you something. Lots of conversations with Real Talk. Black people are harassed by the fucking police sometimes. It's not usually the big cases. You can get stopped just for being a black guy in the wrong part of town. It happens. I've seen it. I've been with black men in New Jersey. The black cops. Yeah, black cops might even do it too.
Yeah.
It happens. So, I think people like her just got him elected.
we are prepared to fight back once again. Because as the Attorney General of this great state, it is my job to protect and defend the rights of New Yorkers and the rule of law. And I will not shrink from that responsibility.
Oh, you're fucking such a hero.
So you heard that President Trump, she declared war on you?
Yeah, I know. You're going to jail.
Do whatever actions you deem necessary.
Oh, fuck off. Fuck us.
Who do you think that was from?
Yeah, I wonder who that was from. I go fuck. Hey, by the way, we won! Mighty Celtic. No one ever went broke underestimating the intelligence of American people. Americans as a group are not especially intelligent and readily entertained or fooled by a financial benefit for someone. Hey, give them the financial benefits then.
But not me, the guy who posted this. This doesn't apply to me at all, and it never has.
No.
The people that are like so like manipulated by all this stuff are the ones that are posting online, being like, "Oh, you guys have been manipulated."
Yeah,
like,
no.
Those are the ones that are.
Everybody else is going on with their life. I'm sure there's a few I'm sure there's some annoying Trump people out there that are
the guys that said. The guys that said America's a great country and Trump has said horrible things about America are saying horrible things about Americans right now.
A peaceful, but a determined resistance. You know, I don't think this is going to work second time either.
Fiery, but mostly peaceful protests.
Yeah. Well, a determined resistance must start now. Yeah. So what do you do?
You think it's going to be 2017 part 2 again, where like shit starts getting weird with like all the
I wonder. Yes,
and the
but I wonder
cancellations.
after today, because he has such a mandate, if they have the political capital to do it. I wonder if some people on the left say enough.
Well,
and if enough people do that, if enough people on the left say we're done with this, like Bill Maher types, we're done with this.
Yeah, because they've been saying enough for 4 years, so why wouldn't they say enough again? You know. But if they back off, then that's when it gets kind of scary.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The enough is the backing off. Like there'll be enough people. We're not tolerating this shit anymore. We have to get back the country back to normal. You know, guess what? He won fair and square. Got news for you. And what is this resistance? What is he going to? You gonna resist the Constitution? You're not going to
That's what they did.
Yeah, that's what they did for 4 years.
2016.
Yeah, I think there'll be some of that, and maybe even a lot of it. I could be wrong.
It's like Antifa are going to make a massive comeback
I just
again.
think this time. I think this time when they do it, I think there'll be people that are leading that charge, and I think they'll be discredited publicly. So they're not going to have a lot of room.
I would if I lived in like a town like Portland or Berkeley, I'd be really nervous right now. I'd be like, oh god, here we go again.
Well, I mean, right before this, the DOD released a directive about like being able to shoot people who like are deemed as like violent resistance and things like that. So it like
By
genuinely
the way,
they've set
that
up
little
the
guy
law
right
that's
there
more
is the guy that wrote
dangerous,
this article. I just wanted to point that out.
Oh my god! Wait,
He's shorter than me.
Little guy.
that's not photo. Wait,
No, it's not. It's not photoshopped. He's barely over 5
Is that
feet.
Clinton?
That's Clinton. Yeah, Clinton's like 6 foot.
Yeah,
though.
Clinton's just like, hey there, little guy. How you doing?
Yeah,
I
he
like
worked
you
for
a
him.
lot.
Clinton.
Wow,
Oh,
man.
look at the little baby.
You look like a puppet. I love that.
Peaceful. The Guardian. He came from the Guardian and all. It's an English paper too. He's writing for English papers now. Jacksepticeye's always been a woke retard. Yeah, and he's a backstabber too because he was really like. I'll never forget when PewDiePie had his N-word on the bridge thing. He was fucking licking his chops. Jacksepticeye's always been a fucking just a YouTuber type.
Wow,
He's Irish. Don't care.
I think
YouTubers?
if I'm not mistaken, I could go back. I think that's where I made the quote. Just a YouTuber was Jacksepticeye. I'm not 100% sure. Just woke up and saw the news. I really thought she had it. Why? Oh, I don't know anything about America. I'm a stupid fucking Mick. Can't believe people would rather vote for talking.
Does he even live in America?
Hemorrhoid. No, he's Irish.
Yeah, I know he's Irish, but did he move to America or something?
I think he still lives in Ireland.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Play Minecraft.
Yeah, go play Minecraft. Blistering thing. Well, here's the thing, and this is the thing they all forgot, and not just you, Jack. Life was better with him. Is chaotic and definitely fun. Yeah, it was more fun. It was definitely more fun. And that's the thing. All you lefty fucking have something to bitch about for the next couple of years. You got something to talk about. You got something to fight.
Life wasn't better for them because they are not normal people. I mean, that's just the long and short of it.
Oh no! Oh no!
Uh-oh. Peanut
lives.
Yes! Yes!
The return.
Yes.
Here's the thing about
This
that.
is
I know
like
what I
an
said. I know what I
This is
said
like an
yesterday.
omen.
Like fuck the squirrel and fuck the thing. Because if the squirrel wasn't on TikTok, nobody would have gave a shit. Because that's what they do when they find illegal animals. They bump them off. The thing is, though, I was listening to Dankula, and he got it all wrong too. Because this is like besides swatting the house quite literally, because that was over the top. Peanut was a symbol of fucking overreach. Whether it was, and I don't think those cops did a fucking thing wrong. I think they do what they always do when they find squirrels in houses. I think they put them to sleep. The problem is not so much that the cops didn't follow the law. It is the law. Why is it a law? Why isn't there a little leeway there? Why is it right to the executioner? Why is there no empathy? And Trump, yeah, he played right into it. And the lefties didn't. Like in 20 years ago, 30 years ago, the lefties like, why'd you kill the squirrel?
Yeah, that's what blew my mind.
And the conservatives would have said, well, it's the law. Yeah, you're an asshole. You're so stiff. Fuck off. My whole thing is fuck that squirrel, fuck Harambe and Leo the Lion and all of them. I don't give a shit. I hate hearing about that shit.
Wait, Leo the Lion's dead?
Yeah.
Look, this squirrel like traveling across the stage during the concession speech. This is like an ancient Roman, like this is an omen. You know, this is like Trump is truly the God Emperor. Praise him.
Well, no, AC, he's the N-word of the century.
And women are the N-words of the world. It's true.
That was belovedly from Jeff Hoffman. So.
Yeah, it really was. Who's this guy?
That is that? Yeah, that's the football player. It's Antonio Brown, I think his name is.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
He's nuts. He's fucking out of his mind.
I love him.
Yeah. but he always does this thing like N-word of the day, and it's just a random white guy.
Good for him.
You know, he's awesome like that.
He went into a hotel once in a pool and just started taking out his dick.
Oh,
he's
God, he's
weird.
so funny. So thank you, Pittsburgh and Donald Trump, for helping the dream come true. We were all crackers of the day. Well, he's funny. He's funny.
Honored to be here with the best fans in the world. Make some noise for the Steelers fans.
Yeah.
But before I get too deep in my speech, I want to say, I know the media is going to call me crazy, me and Trump crazy for having me speaking here, but I want to make this clear. We are not. They are.
All right, it's a good speech.
Yeah. He's an orator, you know.
Yeah.
He's born with it.
Yeah, I don't know. He's funny to me.
By the way,
but you know,
Aiden,
he kind of represents. This is the kind of the people they abandon. He represents your average Black American. Football, joking around, having fun. You know, the bro move. Trump went after that. Trump, want to be rich. Bro, like, you know, everybody's having fun. Keep it loose. You know, speak how you want to speak. They don't represent that.
He's that N-word.
Stop it! Don't get me in trouble. I know you're Hispanic.
Okay.
We don't sound it enough.
All
right. I think we should take call. I would take no, but there's much more. Yeah. Well,
I had one.
I will.
I just wanted to.
Go ahead.
I sent it to you, Tommy. I'm having a midlife crisis with this picture. I've been having it for like since I've seen it, like 8 months ago, and it's just blowing my mind that this guy is now the vice president.
What is this? What am I looking at?
That is a picture of J.D. Vance when he was in high school. And then he's 4 years older than me. I remember when kids looked like this. I remember these are my friends. These are people like all these people that are dressing like this. These are people how they dressed. He's 40 years old. He's the same age as Justin fucking Wang.
Yeah.
It's nuts. It's fucking. He's a millennial. This is the first time a millennial has been in any sort of political office.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's nuts.
Because I'm the tail end of Gen X, so yeah. That's too fuzz, JD Vance. He's a little chunky in the monkey there.
Yeah, but he looks like a typical, like, he's about to go play some Halo after school, bro. Like, it's just like...
Yeah.
This is what you did back in the... You made a silly picture like this.
That's why I won. All right. See, here's the thing. We have to get to the person that really needs to talk. We'll take calls. I saw you guys in there. You can go back in there. But before we hear from anybody, Keaton, where are you in the election?
Ricky Bauer.
Keaton, where are you in the election?
Well...
Keaton, I want to hear your opinion. I knew you were going to say that. You know that? I knew you were going to say that. Have you ever heard the Keaton song?
No.
Open up my window. You can see what I'm streaming. Do you want to hear the Keaton song? I wanted to play it for you because I know you go in my chats, but you don't watch my stream, which I find very funny. By the way,
he's too busy watching Lolcow Live.
Yeah. You go in my streams, but you, like in the chat, but you don't actually watch the stream, which is funny to me.
Lord Snowman can post a video of me.
Did he? That's funny. All right, congratulations.
Shaved today.
All right. Have a good day, Keaton.
But what?
You won't talk, Keaton. You never talk.
Yes, I am. I'm talking right now.
What do you want?
He got you there, Tommy.
All right, what do you think of the election?
Trump.
Are you happy about it?
Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy too.
It's not wrong.
Link. I sent a link. I sent a video of Link because.
A video of Link from Legend of Zelda?
No. Let me say it again. I can't see the chat.
Do me a favor, Keaton. Say blow me up.
Blew me up.
Good. Let's get there. All right.
Still robbed him of the song.
What's that?
You still robbed him of the song.
Fuck the song. I can't because I couldn't find it. Where's what's his face? He sent it to me too, and I don't have as much as. There it is. Hold on. I'll play the song. Here's the song. Here we go. I should play it for Matt. Here we go. Oh. What do you got, Keaton? Here it is. Here you go.
Amazing.
It's great.
Perfect. You really liked it, huh? I think Ron Decker and Run made that.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Who
Is that shit on Spotify?
Green Man, are you here? Is Green Man here?
Yeah, I'm just patiently. I don't like to talk over you and all that. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry. Oh, you're different than you were when you were a younger man. So, what's a Scottish take?
Well, obviously last night, we went into last night being great underdogs. Obviously, guys, everybody here was being told by the mainstream that we had no chance, that things couldn't work out. And I'm here to tell you that the mighty Glasgow Celtic beat RB Leipzig 3-1.
Hey, you're going about that, Specky Bam.
Yeah, we almost beat them once. We almost got in overtime with them. But yeah, I was really happy about it. Did you hear AC Milan? They knocked off Real Madrid. Pretty good, huh?
Celtic are probably above Real Madrid in the league table, hence making us a better team.
Really? Are you? I want to see something though. I actually want to see something. Are you? Well, let's check the Champions League thing right now, real quick.
This is the most important thing that happened last night.
Oh, God! You really don't have that bad a record. You only have one loss, one. That's enough to keep you in. Anybody here stays alive. Any below here, see you next year. Leipzig's in that spot, by the way. Everybody up here gets a bye.
Yeah, good old Sporting CP.
Sporting CP.
They're second right now.
Yeah, that's Ronaldo's. That's Ronaldo's team, right? That's where Ronaldo came from. Yeah.
Obviously, it was quite controversial when they started a football club about child pornography.
Yeah, but they had good fans and they saw it through. Thank you, Tommy, for having a normal opinion. Voting versus non-voting is refreshing. Not everyone is like, you do what you want. The whole thing is don't lecture me. That's my whole point. Thank you. I do appreciate it. That's all. Don't lecture people for not voting. They might have their own reasons. And maybe here, everything of this, I don't want everybody voting. It'd be great if everybody voted. No one. You know how stupid people can be. Not everybody. You know?
I'm gonna say you're an asshole if you're like, I think this is the better candidate, and then you just don't do anything on election day. I think he's
yeah.
the better
Okay, I agree with that. I agree with that. I agree. If you,
like you said, it's just being a lazy asshole.
Yeah, you're being a lazy asshole.
Like you don't get to have that opinion if you don't fucking come to the table.
I don't believe. No, I disagree with that completely.
Well, I'm saying like who's gonna take it seriously if
You know what George Carlin says
on election day?
You know what George Carlin says? That people who vote have more to answer. They have less of a right to complain because they elected these stupid asses to begin with. People who don't vote have more of a right to complain.
Let's go.
You know what else George Carlin says? Fuck you, fuck God. I worship a volcano. You know fuck you, asshole.
You know what his grandfather used to say?
Yeah, what?
I'm gonna go upstairs and fuck your grandmother.
I don't know. Can we fact check that?
He did say that. No, yeah. You know, he did it. He was a great. I love George Carlin. I'm a huge fan, and now I'm a believer in his ideology. He would stop. He hates those he hates old folksy shit because he's a New Yorker, right? And he said it's like my grandfather used to say. I'm gonna go upstairs and fuck your grandmother. He said that in the middle of the fucking act. It was so funny. All right, anything else, Green Man? I gotta get to other calls. I've been streaming like 3 hours or 2 hours anyway. True.
Every single person I've seen in those videos that's a Kamala Harris supporter is just a pure disappointment to their family. Like, genuinely. Like, can you imagine being that wee guy that says we failed our daughters, we failed our lives, mate? You've not seen a pussy since you were fucking born, son. How the fuck do you have a daughter in our life, mate? Do you want to fucking calm down and behave, man?
Yeah.
Honestly, fuck, man.
So what was Glasgow like today? Were they in mourning? Were they shocked? Because they weren't shocked over here.
Half of Glasgow hate anything that's orange, and half of Glasgow love anything that's orange. So they were quite divided.
Yeah. Did you see what what's his face sent me?
Oh yeah, I seen that in the stream. That was a lovely bit of art.
He's a bastard, isn't he?
Yeah,
are the Rangers considered a right wing club? And then I guess I know Celtics a left wing club, but I mean, are they considered a right wing club though?
I guess so, because they just hit the opposite of what we do. But
Yeah.
I think it's just sensible things like not believing people with penises are women. I know that's quite controversial. If you've got a dick, you can't be a chick.
I know it's very crazy. All right, you have a good one, Green Man. Thanks for calling in, man. Go back to Glory Hunters. We're actually doing. I have to actually release a video today. Forgot to fucking put it out, and it's actually locked and loaded. We had a really good podcast, by the way, on Glory Hunters. I hope you check it out. Me and Nick killed it.
Everybody subscribe to Glory Hunters. Go subscribe.
Go to subscribe.
Guys.
There you go. You can see Green Man in there. Take care, buddy. Dat Boy.
Dat Boy's next.
Dat Boy, you're on.
Yeah, I just kind of came here to ask on why are so many people talking about moving out of America and going out of to Europe or whatever
because they've been brainwashed.
They do this every election.
They do it every election. I think I saw something and this also happens every election. I found something here before.
Well, yeah, but it's like it confuses me because most of my family's from South America, and we view America very highly, right? It got to the point where my dad illegally immigrated to America and suffered a lot just to get here, right?
Yeah,
he went through a lot.
I'm gonna turn him in.
And then
no, go ahead.
Yeah, but the funny thing about it though is that a lot I have a lot of friends too whose parents who also did the same thing, and they literally went through they've been traumatized. They have permanent scars from the things they had to suffer just to get here, and then you have the fucking Democrats bitching about the most smallest thing ever. I'm like, dude, it's not that deep, right?
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. My problem with the Democrats is they're only patriots and they're only believers in democracy and they only love this country when they're in charge of it.
Well, I don't even think they're patriots because a lot of their actions is very unpatriotic. A lot of them talked about getting rid of the electoral college.
Yeah, I know.
That's in the Constitution.
Let's literally destroy the republic. They need a constitutional amendment.
How is that patriotic in any way? At that point, you're just
they don't believe it. The Constitution's an obstacle to. And I'm not going to say all liberals because that's not true. But the Constitution is an obstacle, and they only wrap themselves in it when they're under fire. I mean, it's really. I think people are. maybe I'm just being fucking. Some people are starting to realize that shit.
Yeah.
What was this?
Yeah,
I saw
and
I heard.
that's the thing I've been seeing a lot,
Richard
too.
Gere's moving to Spain. This happens
Cool.
every year. Yeah, there's a headline.
He also shoved a fucking rodent up his.
Yeah, I heard that one. He didn't do that. Said that about Bon Jovi too. Well, I'm glad you're American, and I think I'm glad your dad snuck in.
No, he's a citizen now. He's fine.
Yeah,
Like he's fine.
No, you're not the only family that did that.
El Salvador, Holmes.
A lot of people did. Yeah, I love El Salvador. The funny thing is too is that I've met a lot of people from El Salvador, and like they all have the same they have the same thing in common, and the fact that a lot of them immigrated here illegally, and they love the country. Like I'm talking like
they're very happy to be here.
They're incredibly happy to be here. Like it's the same with the Venezuelans. Like in Ecuador, you can buy for $10, you can buy 20 ice creams, right? And so when they come over here and they say oh shit, I get $100, that's like a gazillion bucks over there, essentially, right?
Yeah.
And so like for us, it's like raining money basically. Like $10 is a lot.
Well, I'm glad your family came here and made the country better. I do.
I remember back in the day when I used to work construction. We worked by a bunch. This black guy shows up with a van with a bunch of Mexicans, and they start working. And I'm like, I asked my buddy, I was like, why do they look so fucking happy? And he's like, they're just happy to be here, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, my dad was,
I think we all, kind of think of us, even as us patriots, should take a step back, including myself, probably, and say, yeah, you're pretty fucking lucky to be American.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not even kidding. Like I have a friend who recently immigrated here from Cuba.
Mm-hmm.
He was smuggled into the country as a way to avoid persecution. And dude, he's traumatized by the shit he had to go through for Cuba. And he's like one of the most patriotic people I know. Like he loves this country. He's very pro-Trump. Very I would say.
Yeah, because he knows what's like when Vosh types get in charge better than most of us.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the weirdest thing to me. Like I don't get it, right? Like
you know what it is, and I don't think I got it either. None of them have actually seen poverty outside of an American ghetto, which this is going to sound nuts.
Yeah.
It's not good to grow up in an American ghetto, and it can be really dangerous.
American ghetto is like a wet dream.
Yeah, I know. It really is.
Like
they have no. I've never seen poverty like I've seen in Iraq. I've never seen suffering like I've seen in Iraq. I mean, and they have no idea how bad it can get. They have no idea, and that's why they can act. That's like they can all act like they can. They're Anne Frank today because they actually.
Yeah. Well, want to hear the funny thing, Tommy?
Yeah, go ahead.
When my mom was growing up, she lived in the jungles in Peru. Like I'm talking, their house was literally just 3 planks of wood, like literally the jungle.
Yeah.
Like they were so isolated from society that they had to walk almost, I think, 1 to 2 days to get anywhere.
And now she has a washer, a dryer, and a stove like a good woman.
Even though right now our finances aren't the best, it's 100% better than how she grew up.
Sure.
50,000 times better.
People, you gotta understand, Americans, especially white ones. I'm gonna be honest with you, they have no idea. They have no idea what real poverty is. They haven't a clue. And I honestly, even though I had a brush with it in a war zone, I probably don't understand it enough. I remember even talking to Real Talking where he grew up in Chicago, which is like the drill area. And even some of my Mexican friends, from LA and Mexico and stuff like that, just the violence they grew up with. I know they're telling you the truth. When
I went to Quito in September, my family member was talking about how he saw a guy got mugged and his guts were literally split on the floor in the middle of the highway.
Yeah, that'll change.
All because of. Yeah, it was literally just 2 guys on a motorcycle. They came out, they robbed him, and he didn't want to give them money, so they killed him, split his guts open, straight in the middle of in the midnight in Quito, outside of Quito.
I know a guy.
Right?
I know a guy told me, that I guess it was a black gang in LA, and they fired a couple shots, and one of them barely grazed, sort of like Trump grazed, not even as bad, his cousin. So you know what they did? And I get the revenge part, right? He shot at my cousin. She was 12 years old, right? But he told me the way the gang dealt with it is they just picked some poor bastard on his bike. And I remembered, well, did he shoot him? And it's like, no, but he was on their side. Oh, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
People have no idea. And I'm not saying poverty's good in the States. I want to make that abundantly clear. But I mean, it can get worse. It can always
it's
get
a lot
worse.
better. Yeah, like the thing I've noticed too is like a lot of the gangs that we had to suffer in Ecuador are going into America, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is I hear a lot is like a lot of the gangs are afraid of the Venezuelans, because the Venezuelans in my country we see them as like the devil, because when you see a Venezuelan you're gonna get robbed, basically, right? Like they're infamous for crime, murder. No, I'm not even kidding. Like even like it's so
they're
bad
all South American to me.
It's so bad at a point where like in Peru they said that if you're Venezuelan and you don't have family in Peru, we're gonna kill you. Like they literally just straight up kill the criminals, because there's so many of them and all of them are from Venezuela. They can't contain it, so they just straight up executing them. Like I'm not even kidding.
Yeah, I believe it. All right, that's what. Now I'm getting sick. I'll talk. I got to bring some other guys in, but it's a good call, man. I appreciate it at that point.
Yeah, see you later. See you later.
Thanks for appreciating.
Tommy, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Blue State.
That Red State. You mean Red State?
It's like no, Blue State. It's about it was in like 2004. It's about a guy who gets so annoyed that Bush won president, he moves to Canada. It's like one of the worst. But my point is like they've been doing this since the early 2000s.
We got Jeff and Aiden. Let's start with Aiden. I don't know. I didn't buy your freak out last night. I'll be honest with you.
I know it wasn't. First of all, look at my tweets over the last like 24 hours. I'm milking it. Like,
yeah, I know.
If you're milking it, you're not supposed to say you're milking.
Well, now he is.
Doing
but maybe he was freaking out, and this is his way out of it. You know, I don't know. Maybe I was wrong.
Obviously, I'm dismayed, but obviously, I didn't think Guam was gonna save the election. Obviously, I didn't.
Oh yeah, okay, fair enough. Guam.
Yeah, Aiden was saying he like bet 10,000 on this, or it was something where his parents were mad at him.
What do you think about all these people comparing themselves to Anne Frank, Jews during Nazi Germany, leaving the country? What do you think of those types?
I think that it's like a pretty like gross over exaggeration. At the same time though, this is like not like this has been happening ever since World War II. The Hitler parallels.
Yeah.
So it's just always going to be the case. But I mean, I think that you guys won. I agree that it was. I've been making jokes that like, oh, there were ballots all for Trump showing up in Wyoming at 3 a.m. But obviously, I'm joking. You guys won fair and square. I know you're very happy. I'm happy for you that you're happy. Obviously, I didn't want this to be the outcome.
Sure.
But I appreciate that some of you are not rubbing it in so much. There have been a few rubbing it in,
sure.
And
you did kind of ask for it doing your bit.
I didn't even know it was I didn't even know it was an election year. So.
No.
But like, I don't know how they're gonna make fun of like the crying lib when they threw like. I feel like the cope in 2020 was so unprecedented that like I feel like they have no right.
Well, the cope, I gotta admit, the cope of 2020 was bad. I mean, it was a lot worse than anything the left ever did before.
All right, I feel like you're allowed to make fun of crying liberals as long as you weren't there on January 6th.
Yes, fair enough.
You know,
I remember Nick said to me, because he was concerned about it, and he says, "What do you think of that?" I'm like, "I don't know, fucking what about they're an assholes. What do you want?" He says, "Aren't you embarrassed by it?" And I was like, "No." And he's like, "Why?" Because I wasn't me. I didn't do that.
I wasn't there.
I wasn't there. I don't agree with that. What do I care?
Yeah. This whole collective responsibility thing doesn't work on like normal, rational people. I think.
I do.
Well, I can.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was going to say I can respect Republicans, or I can respect like the stance many Republicans took of denouncing that when it was happening and not trying to like defend it. Like my parents did. So, I mean, I can appreciate that.
You're probably going to be conservative one day, too.
No.
Aiden, there's no place for Jews. That's what you're going to find out.
Aiden, you're going to change your tune once you see that vertical red line come up on the polls.
Tommy, I'm like ultra secular, so I'm not really like, it's not like.
Yeah, but you know what? That's the thing. And that's why you'll change, because once you go set, like you're always going to be a Jew to everybody else. It doesn't matter. The religion itself, it doesn't matter. And most Jews I knew growing up, because remember, I didn't grow up that far from you, and most Jews I knew grew up were Jews no matter how much they went to temple or if they did it all. I'm sorry. They all get in the same banner. I think a lot of those fucking Israelis were killed in the 6th. Weren't fucking going to temple.
You know what, Aiden? You were, the thing is, You are so cool. I forgot you're a Jew.
Okay, all right, good one, buddy. Good one.
No, I actually, though, unironically, I forgot you were Jewish when
You
you
can
came
kind of
on the
like
call the other day.
Well, you know, it is weird because like if you're Irish American like me, you can kind of just say, "Hey, I'm American," and distance yourself from your ethnicity. If you're Jewish, you can't, even if you want to. It's got nothing to do. Like the hate towards Jews has less than nothing to do with their religion. It has everything to do with their success.
All very, very true.
Thomas Sowell said it. He said, "He goes, what do you do about it?" He said, "What could Jews do about anti-Semitism?" And they said, "Stop succeeding." Yes, I think that's it. I think where a lot of it comes from. Success.
That's why Aiden abandoned his channel.
I wasn't making money off of that, so like, I was doing it for fun.
You stereotype you.
Well, I mean, if you don't have fun doing something anymore and you're not making money doing it, of course you're going to quit it.
All right. Is there anything last thing you want to say as a Democrat? Because I'm going to go to Jeff because he's probably going to spike the football.
Yeah, no. Take care. Congratulations.
Oh, you can stay if you want. No.
I have to go anyway.
All right, man. All the best.
I have to go cry.
Tell your family I support them in Israel and yay Zionism. Take care. I really enjoy his company, but I'm so glad he's an adult now. He's a lot more fun to be around. I've known him since he was 13, and here's the thing about Aiden. He's wicked smart, like wicked smart. He's got issues and does goofy stuff when he was a kid, but I've always been able to see how bright he was. I mean, the stunts he pulled to become a YouTuber, should have given him an award. And I really enjoy the adult that he's become because he's just fun to talk to, and he's got a real hunger for learning and discussion, and it's not as annoying as it used to be. It used to be really annoying, but I love Aiden a lot. Jeff, you won! You won! Jeff, where's Jeff?
Hey, what up, Tom? That's not Huffman.
That's not Huffman. Oh, thanks for being quiet. Oh, Jeff, you're on. I'm sorry. I thought it was Huffman for some reason. I don't know why. Oh, go ahead, Jeff. I apologize. I thought you were Huffman.
I saw you tweeted yesterday, saying like I don't give a shit, like you guys don't vote. Like I agree with you. Like yeah, I didn't like vote either. I didn't really give a
I don't care. I'm not going to lecture you. You can do what you want.
But I had this friend who went and vote yesterday, and like he got jump on for like who he voted for.
Why did he tell anybody?
He did. Well, he came outside and
did he came outside and go Trump, which is election year.
He came outside and this guy came up to him. He said like, "Hey, who'd you vote for?" And he looked at him. He said, "Howard Stone's penis." Papa boy.
You can't do that to me. I'm not going to go to that side. I grew up watching Howard Stern, man.
Jeff Huffman joined and then just let
Howard Stern. Probably. So that was Baba Booey, a nicest soldier. I love Howard. Well, old Howard Stern. I don't want to happen to him.
He's probably mad right now.
Oh God, does anybody have? That's a good idea. What he was always kind of a head case, neurotic weirdo.
I don't think he tweet. I don't think he does social media. The only way you're gonna see him.
I'm saying. Well, maybe this time he would because he's so mad. And then he's gonna have to hide. Howard Stern, surprise. No, he has. Oh God, he hasn't posted since 2023.
Yeah,
we'll have to find.
He doesn't really use it.
Yeah, I think it's cool not to use social media if you're older. Period. Yeah, I don't do that. Like me, I'm stuck in it, but I think it's cool. When I run into people, they're like, "Yeah, this is cool."
I tend to miss old Howard Stern in this era. Like when 2016 and all that was going down, like we kind of needed old Howard Stern to have Donald Trump on and talk to him, like on like a traditional Howard Stern interview.
I think I know what happened to him. Remember, he was so anti-Hollywood for so long.
And then he started joining.
There were a bunch of him, and they finally let him in, and he never wanted to leave. Once he got in, it was too good.
I heard Artie Lang talk about it, and he said they got a new producer, and the producer had this book that he wanted Howard to read. And after Howard read that book, he was like, "All right, time to change things."
What book was it?
I don't know what it was. It was one of those inspirational books or something.
No,
and after he read that book,
probably what.
But I think what happened was Howard saw the writing on the walls when it came to the culture changing, especially in Hollywood and pop culture and stuff. And he's like, I'm gonna have to change my act, or I'm going to I'm not going to be around
You know,
anymore.
I tell you something. Like Michael Moore, he never stopped faking that he was a fucking working class guy.
Yeah,
that's what Howard. That's you know, and I probably grew up a little richer than Howard, to be honest with you. Not that I was rich by any stretch. And my dad worked for a company, and my mom had her own business, but and my stepmom was an airline attendant, and but I always appreciated like my grandfather's roots and growing up in Newark and all that stuff. And he just, even though he was Jewish and even though he's from Long Island, I so connected with him telling the stories about his family and his father telling him, "Shut up, you moron!" And then one day it was just gone. Like you're still that kid from Long Island, bro. You know, and
it's like he lost that New Yorker edge that kind of kept him going for 30 years. You know,
yeah. I think one of the things that Artie pointed out, like, remember when he used to make fun of Ellen DeGeneres and call her a big fucking phony that treats her fans like shit and her friends like shit. And then all of a sudden, he used to make fun of her stupid little dance, and then he started doing it and like complimenting it. Like, what a fraud!
Yeah, it's exactly a grift. Is my point, is that he saw the writing on the wall. He's like, I'm gonna have to change.
Does that mean he was never one of us?
I like to think. I mean, I think that he was one of us and then changed. But I mean, maybe he was never that guy. You know, maybe he was playing character the whole time.
Yeah, but he was right about Hollywood, and he wasn't left in because they didn't let him in right away because he wasn't a part of their fucking club and he didn't know who they knew and he wasn't beautiful. It's just a shame. It's a fucking shame because that show is great. And then, you know, they used to always say, I used to defend Robin. Oh, she just laughs along and agrees with everything. Boy, ain't that fucking true. Now she says shit that she wouldn't agreed with 20 years ago. Yeah, you know, and I understand people change and stuff, but it's too dramatic, you know, to be anything other than just a big fraud, you know.
Yeah.
Let's do. Thanks so much for everybody's kind donations. I've had a lot of fun doing these streams. Let me do Pat's. I am going to do, and I'm not going on. I decided it's just too late. Because I don't want to get dressed. That's pretty much what it is. I'm going to read the Pats. Pats are always guaranteed reads. And then over 20. Let me go check those too. Creators. I didn't do that yet. Let's see. I've got a lot of little ones, but no 20s there. But you want to
because they know the economy is going to be better in the next 4 years.
Well, I hope so because it's not been good for me since lolcow, but I'll deal. I got my house. That's all that really matters.
True.
You know, I'll find ways to get money and get that fucking place fixed up over the years and scrape that goddamn fucking wallpaper. I want to choke people.
That was terrible. I saw the photo of that, man.
Yeah. There's 4 layers.
Oh my!
Going back to 1975 on one wall. There's 5 on most of them. There's at least 2. 4 layers. The first one comes right off, right? And you know what she wanted to do? My mother had her own business. She's an interior decorator, right? And what she would do, and she was an anti-Semite too. She always complained that we're Jews. But what would happen is she'd have her price out there for the thing, and then she'd go and people would paint it over their wallpaper on top of wallpaper, and she'd be like, "I can't give you the same price." Like, why? Because you got wallpaper on wallpaper on wallpaper. It's like, can't do it. It's going to take days just to even start the work. You said, and she would. My grandfather and her were anti-Semites, to be honest with you. I'm like, the Jews won't give me my money. Ah! You know, but they always drilled in my fucking head. Don't paint over wallpaper. Don't paint over. So we have this situation. So my wife says, we're going to paint over it. I go, no, we're not. I go, you ruined the wall like permanently. Like if you ever want to do something nice in a couple of years, remember, this is our last house. We're going to die in here. Right. And she sits there. She's such a stubborn German broad. No, we're doing it my way. And guess what? Now we're actually doing it the right way. Probably not good enough, to be honest. I still think she's going to, because we need a professional guy to strip this thing. We don't have the fucking tools to do it like the actual proper way. We just have that one stick and some kind of chemical that doesn't really work all the time. So you know what it is? Like, by the way, this stuff with nobody believing me until it's fucking true on the internet, like I get people ahead of time. It's been going on my whole life, all right? Now we're doing it the right way, or semi the right. We need to hire somebody, but she says we can't afford it. I don't know if we can afford it or not. To be perfectly honest with you. She's like, "You're right. It'll ruin the walls." And now we're scraping again, but only because she read it from some German. I was like, my parents were in the paint business, both of them. Unbelievable. You never win, guys. You never win. You think your wife's ever going to take you seriously? Think again. Why don't you give them their babies and you're just fucking furniture. You're sperm donating furniture. There you go.
Exactly.
That's what you want,
And
right?
that's shot from the point, ladies and
100%.
gentlemen. Sperm donating furniture.
Teddy donates 15. Tommy, you can't be so cruel. That poor little cat died a horrible death. I think I read that one yesterday.
That's yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. Yeah, nobody got over 10, so over 10. Yeah, nobody got over 10, so I'm not reading them. Sorry! That's the rules. And we were very busy today. But thank you so much. And where is... I set this up already.
You probably closed it. There you go. Good.
Leave me alone. You're mean. You're mean to me. You're another woman in my life that's just mean to me. Everybody's mean.
Oh.
Yeah.
No.
He's always
I'm
correcting
not mean
me,
all the time.
making me feel dumb.
Yeah, because I'm trying to improve you.
Tommy, now you know how Harris voters feel.
You don't have to marry me. That's usually marry. I mean, aren't you supposed to be in love with me for something before you do that? Maspy, Little Manly, Oatbag Mrexon, One Family Guy fan, Abby Blackburn, Ashley B, Billion Bones, Blue Jacket, Cody Grill, Final Flash, Kinetic Cal, thanks so much. Latchkey Gothboy, Nesquik, not your typical mom, NYT mom, otherwise known as. Panic Pun, Reynolds Hughes, Old School, Taylor D, Tommy C. Scott, Trippy Savage, Jeannie Picklington. I am going to do an after show stream, but I'm probably going to be just bullshitting and playing video games. So if that's not your thing, we're not going to do it. I'm not. I did 2.5 hours. So, but I am doing the after show. You've got to be a member, Patreon. You got to be synced, and I'll see you in there in a few minutes. Thanks so much, everybody. And Huffman didn't say anything. He's too busy partying, I guess.
He just did. He dipped out after the Baba Booey.
Yeah.
Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
Baba Booey.
Baba Booey. I have no shame. Thanks, Opinionated Junkie, who made a bunch of fucking ones. I do appreciate that. And I'll see you all real soon. Real soon. Maybe tomorrow, because I might do a stream with Chud playing Fortnite. So see you then. Peace.
Peace.